Good evening. I'm on the wrong page. Welcome to the public hearing for the Livingston Zoning Board of Adjustment. Today is April 28th, 2026. If you're an applicant for a D or use variance, you should be aware that such a variance can only be granted after showing that special reasons for the grant of the variance exists, and that variance can be granted without substantial detriment to the zoning plan of the Township of Livingston. You should also be aware that in order to be granted such a variance, you will require affirmative vote of 5 members of the 7-member Board of Adjustment. Other variances require a majority of 4 members to grant that variance. If you're an applicant for any variance and your variance is denied by this board, you have a right to appeal to the Superior Court of the State of New Jersey within 45 days of notice of decision, and that court may overturn the decision of this board. If you are an objector to any type of variance that has been granted, you too may appeal to the Superior Court of the State of New Jersey within 45 days of the notice of decision. If you do file an appeal, I ask that you please provide a copy of your complaint to the Planning Administrator, Jackie Hollis. Pursuant to the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the Star Ledger and West Essex Tribune, and a copy was also posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building. In addition to having notice posted, notice of this meeting was placed on the township's website. Excuse me. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions or to make statements regarding each application at the appropriate time. When the time comes, if you'd like to address the board, please come to the front and use the microphone so we can make sure your comments or questions are part of the record. To the members of the public, I would like to remind everyone that this board exists for the sole purpose of making adjustments to this township zoning rules. The rules are developed and affirmed by the town council. As a board, we listen to the testimony presented for each application and make our decision based on the township rules, state guidelines, as well as rulings issued by the New Jersey courts. We are very happy when the public comes forward and asks questions and or makes statements. In fact, this board always encourages it. However, as a board, we are not going to discuss how we reach our conclusions or how or why we voted for or against an application further than what is required by law. I'd also like to remind the public that communication with board members is limited to the time when we are in session. Please do not email or call us. We are volunteers, and it's improper to contact us outside of these chambers. Thank you for your understanding. We will now call the roll. Mr. Kenya.
Okay, Mr. Kenya, Mr. Horn. Here. Mr. Shah. Here. Mr. Sherman.
Here.
Ms. Young.
Here.
Mr. Wiseman. Here. Mr. Ambari.
Here.
Ms. Khan.
Here.
Mr. Beer.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. Please call the first application, Mr. Kenya.
Okay, Block 7300, Lot 10, 6 Ross Road, application number 2025-91V, Amit Thakur and Ekta Kumari. Applicant seeks approval for the first and second floor addition in violation of the following section: 170-96C2, front yard setback 75 feet required, 66 feet proposed, 9 feet variance requested. 170-96C4, rear yard setback 75 feet required, 42.3 feet proposed, 32.7 feet variance requested.
Before we get started, I was amiss in not mentioning that we have 2 adjourned applications. 16 West Lawn Road, application 2026-6-V, and application number 2026-5-V for 1 Avalon Avenue. If you're here for either of those 2 applications, they're adjourned to May 12th and June 23rd, respectively.
Through you, Chair, just for the record, 16 West Lawn is adjourned to May 12, 2026. There is no need for that applicant to renotice. This is the notice for that matter to be heard on May 12th. As to 1 Avon Avenue, that's adjourned to June 23rd, 2026. There is no need to renotice. There will be no renotice. This is the notice, so if you're here on that matter, please be aware that that's going to be heard on June 23rd. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Counselor. Okay, back to you now. Sorry about that.
It works now. Aye.
My name is Ekta. I live in 6 Ross Road, Livingston. We are a family of 4, myself, my husband, and 2 boys, and we
Okay, ma'am, 1 second.
Sorry,
It's okay, don't worry about it. All right, so you are the
I'm the
homeowner,
owner of the, yeah, I'm the
right? And
homeowner.
can we just have your name, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Ekta Kumari.
Okay. And you're here presenting tonight, and you have your
I
architect
have my
with?
architect with me.
Okay, very good. So are you going to testify and your architect?
Yeah,
Okay, so let's get you sworn in, then you can go ahead and give us the...
Sure.
Okay, do you swear affirm tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
yes,
Okay, can you please proceed, ma'am?
thank you. So we've been living in this house for a couple of years, and we realized that we needed some more space and needed to expand the house in order to have a good living standard, the kind of lifestyle that we have, and we frequently have guests, which are friends and family visiting us. So as a result, we decided to go on with the expansion project. We hired Wyndham Designs, Dan Ensign, to help us with the design of the project and help us through the process. So I hand it over to Dan now to take it forward and answer any questions you may have.
Okay, so, Mr. Architect, are you going to testify from there, or are you going to go up to the podium?
To the podium.
All right, why don't you head up to the podium, and I'll swear you in over there, and then we can proceed with the presentation. Okay, do you swear affirm and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
Okay, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
It's Daniel Ensign. Last name is spelled E-N-C-I-N.
E-N-C-I-N? Okay, and Mr. Ensign, can you give us briefly your qualifications in the field of architecture?
Sure. I'm a licensed architect. I've been registered and licensed since 2007. I'm the principal and owner of Wyndham Design Architects, located in Wyndham, New Jersey. I have presented in front of this board as well as all of the adjacent municipalities over the course of the past 15 years.
Okay, and your license to practice architecture in the state of New Jersey is up to date?
It is, yes.
Okay, Chairman?
And can we just have your education for the record?
Sure. I hold a Bachelor of Architecture degree from New Jersey Institute of Technology.
Excellent. Does anyone on the board have any questions or objections regarding this witness? There being no objections, the witness is accepted as an expert in architecture. All yours.
All right, so I guess I can use what's here. This is for, what's up on screen here is for the application. Okay. So the proposed project is at 6 Ross Road. It's located in the R1 district. The house was constructed in 1955. It's an existing single-story ranch-type home. A majority of the kind of existing elements of the house, or original elements of the house, are still in place. There's been some modification to the house over time. There's a small sunroom space on the back that had been added at some point. There have been some kitchen renovations and other things done from previous owners, but the substantial portion of the house is still kind of original to what it was when it was constructed. The existing lot, which you can see here, and everything is consistent with the application. There's no changes. What is shown here on the lot is the existing property is kind of exceptionally shallow in terms of size. The required lot depth for this area is 235 feet, and the existing lot depth is 185.9 feet. The two proposed variances are for an addition at the front of the house, as well as an addition at the rear of the house. both single-story additions that are, both in line and shorter than the pre-existing. The proposed, where for the front yard setback, where proposed is 66 feet. That proposed number is actually, for the front yard setback, 66 feet. That is the dimension of the original house from the property line. So the actual proposed dimension of what the addition is 70.1 feet. Same goes on the rear, where the required rear yard is 75 feet. Currently, the rear right corner of the house, based on the property line, is 42.3 feet as it stands. And what's being proposed where the addition is 49.5 feet. So in both cases, we're being very careful. We understand the shallowness of the lot, and we're attempting to be very careful and sensitive to the fact that we don't want to further increase or extend or intensify the existing nonconformity of what's there. So both portions are designed to actually be set back further than where the existing house is now. In addition to this, at the rear of the property behind this, there, as opposed to being kind of a dwelling or another structure that has views of this, there's kind of a heavy wood line, and then beyond that wood line is the parking deck to the medical center. And so there's not another home or another dwelling behind this kind of viewing this addition. That said, in addition to this, as we look through, the existing roof of the house over the center core portion of the house is being proposed to be elevated, getting taller ceiling heights within the existing one-story house, still well within the height requirements, but that would also be viewed as extending an existing nonconformance where we're lifting that up within that 75-foot front yard setback. So on the site plan, we can see the proposed additions at the front of the house. On the left side, it is a proposed expansion off the front face of the garage for a first floor bedroom space, as well as a mudroom and laundry and a powder room. And at the center of the house, the small rectangle here, that is not enclosed space. That is a covered entryway or portico leading into the main centralized entrance to the house. On the rear of the house, the proposed addition in the back left corner is kind of comprised of creating an area for expanded kitchen space, as well as an office space and some other additional room. And then on the right side of the house, the small rectangle that you see here is a proposed space for additional walk-in closet space on the primary bedroom suite. On sheet A2 is the existing first floor plan as the house as it stands right now. You can see how the bedrooms are clustered towards the right side of the house and the living spaces towards the center and towards the left. Much of that is still staying the same. As you can see on sheet A3, the proposed floor plan of what's there kind of keeps much of that intact. It opens up and increases some of the living space, and then you can see the added bedroom, kitchen, and other living areas where the addition spaces are.
So, Mr. Ensign, right?
Ensign.
Ensign, okay. So you're saying that the addition that you are proposing for this house, while it's technically there are technical variance conditions, they're actually less than the current variance conditions, number one.
Correct.
And number two, these are largely following, otherwise they're following the property or the current structure lines where they're being expanded out.
Yes, we're working with the placement of the existing spaces and elements within the house and expanding those out where necessary.
So, and I think you brought up also the fact that this is a shallow lot, and I think that rear line is a little diagonal instead of straight across. So I think you would agree with me that that is presents some type of the physical aspects of that lot cause the need for the variance conditions, more so than it would for another home on a similarly situated property, correct?
If it was a conforming property of a full standard depth within the zone, we would not be applying for these variances.
Right. And under the more flexible standard, a C2 standard, doing this addition within, or not causing more of a variance is a better planning alternative than doing an addition that may create more variance conditions.
Yes, or intensifying beyond what the existing condition is already, which is non-conforming.
Okay. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for this witness? Okay. Does anyone in the public have any questions for this witness? Does anybody in the public want to make a statement regarding this application? Last chance for the board for any questions? Would you like to make a closing statement at all, or?
Yes, that the proposed work and what the variances requested are less than the existing or the pre-existing non-conforming condition, and that the improvement both to the livability of the house as well as the streetscape and the aesthetics of the exterior are much improved by what's being proposed with the design. So the benefit of everything that's shown here far outweighs any detriment.
Thank you. Would anybody on the board like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Kenyo, yes. Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Sherman?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Khan?
Yes.
Mr. Beer?
Yes.
You have quorum.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Short and sweet, keep it coming.
Block 5100, Lot 12, 49 Winchwood Road, application number 2025-116-V, Bunkim Balaria and Pooja Shah. Applicant seeks approval for the second floor addition in violation of the following section: 170-87 BB3, habitable floor area 3520 square feet allowed, 3,975.2 square feet proposed, 455.2 square feet variance requested.
Okay, so, sir, are you the owner of the home?
Yes, my name
Okay,
is
and what's your name?
Bunkim Balaria.
All right, are you going to testify, or are you going to let these two guys that you hired testify on your behalf?
I can also testify.
Well-
And they will assist me.
Yeah, we'll
Mr.
swear-
Wensley's going to give a brief intro, then we're going to take over.
Okay, why don't we swear you in? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Graviano, for peanut gallery there. Do you swear, we'll do one at a time, Nick. I know you're very excited. Do you swear affirm and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight, sir?
Yes,
Can you do us a favor of stating and spelling your name for the record?
sure. Bunkim Balaria, Bankim Bhalaria.
Okay, sir, so why don't you give us your brief intro, and then we'll move on to your professionals.
Yeah. My name is Bunkim Balaria. I'm joined by my wife, Pooja Shah. We have been in town since 2016, so almost 10 years. We have a family of 4, 2 girls, 15 and 8. My daughter plays for the Livingston High School basketball team, and the younger one is aspiring to be. I'm represented today by Danny Dubinet, who's my architect, and Nick Graviano, who's my planner. And thank you for the time.
No worries. All right, so we're going to start with Mr. Dubonnet. Do you swear affirm and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
Okay, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Thank you. Daniel Dubinet, Danial, last name Dubinet, Dubinett.
And Mr. Dubonnet, I keep wanting to say Dubonnet. Dubonnet?
That one
Dubonnet?
sounds better.
Dubonnet. I made him a little more French.
Sounds a little French.
A
No, but
little more
Dubonnet.
international.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Dubonnet has appeared before this board on numerous occasions, been qualified in the field of architecture. Mr. Dubonnet, your license to practice in the field of architecture in the state of New Jersey is up to date?
Up to date.
Okay, Chairman?
Does any, easy for me to say, does anyone on the board have any questions or objections regarding this witness? There being no objections, the witness is accepted as an expert in architecture.
Thank you. I guess I go first. Yes. Okay, well, there's one variance associated with this application tonight. It's the habitable floor area. I'll give you a quick history of the existing house and a quick history of the proposed additions and some of the features that I think make it unique, this application unique versus some others. Basically, we're located in the R3 zone, 49 Witchwood Road, and the lot size is 19,360. So we're significantly larger than the minimum, which is 15,000. And like Nick will most likely testify to, is in the back of the property is a really large easement owned by PSE&G, so there's no neighbors in the back. The adjacent neighbor to the right is about 75 feet away from us, and the neighbor to the left, I measured, is about 24 feet. And I think, well, let me show you the existing conditions of the home. I'd like to, if I could, mark this as an exhibit, because I colorized it a little bit.
We'll call it Exhibit A1.
Okay. So what I did was try to show you in pink, and in the future I'll have a color printer, so we'll be able to give you some color in the future. But the pink area is the addition to the back of the house. So we have a Center Hall Colonial, I think it's about 1960. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. As a result of this, we'll be at 5-bedroom, 5-bath. The bulk of the addition is to the rear of the property, which is a 1-story addition, which will allow us to add a family room, expand the kitchen, breakfast area, and create a guest bedroom in the back of the house. That's the first floor that we plan on doing the addition to. And on the second floor, above the existing garage, well, I tried to show you, or at least compare. Let me go back to the first floor. Okay. So on the left of your screen, this is the first floor, and this is the proposed on the right side. And on the second floor, okay, we had a relatively small second floor. It was just built over the left-hand side of the house. So the family room, the existing living room that they had in the garage, there was nothing above it. So we plan on building the second floor expansion on top of the existing first floor. And then on the addition to the back, a small bedroom to the back. So I would say that most of our massing is over the garage, but particularly in the back is where we're adding the additional massing and program. And these are images of what we plan on doing. So you can see how on the left side, upper left of V5, that's the existing house and the proposed house. So we're going to add the space, and we're also going to add some curb appeal, so change the roof lines. And I think what I'd like to show you is, just to give us a setting, this is a Google Earth image. The highlighted area here is 49 Witchwood. Again, it's a 19,000 square foot lot. The neighbors adjacent to the right were actually got their backyards to us. And then there's this magnificent wooded area that apparently is an easement that there won't potentially be anybody neighbors back there. So that I think what makes this significantly special. There are no other variances, and what I'd like to just point out, because it's an addition to the back and over the existing, that the side yard setbacks and the front yard setbacks are pretty nice. So the red line is the 50-foot required front yard setback. So the existing house was at 60.6 and proposed is 60.6. There's a front portico that extends, but still well within the 50. And then the side yard setbacks. With the addition, we'll be at 16 feet here, and the red line is the 10. And on the right side, existing 15.7, so we'll maintain that. And the grayish area shaded in the back is one story primarily, with a small massing on the second floor right in the middle. That's the application. I think, certainly from my perspective, the site can handle the additional massing. So let me go over the numbers real quickly. Maximum allowed is 3,520. We're going to be requesting 3,975, which is 455 square feet over that number. But what's interesting, if you compare it to the ratio, they allow you to 21%, and we'll be under that, we'll be at 20.5. And again, I think the conditions of the site and the neighbors make this additional massing that the property can handle the extra square footage. There's a small amount of space in the double height foyer that's being counted. That's about 80 square feet. And that's our application on my end.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone on the board have any questions for this witness? Does anybody in the public have any questions for this witness? One down, one to go.
Okay. Mr. Graviano, do you swear for and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
Okay, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
First name Nicholas with an H, last name Graviano, G-R-A-V as in Victor, I-A-N-O. I'm a
Okay.
planner and partner with Graviano and Gillis Architects with a business address of 101 Crawfords Corner Road in Holmdel, New Jersey.
And Mr. Graviano has appeared before this board numerous times, has been qualified in the field of professional planning. Ms. Graviano, your license to practice in the state of New Jersey is up to date, correct?
As you say, I have not received any letters.
Okay, well, or emails. In the old days.
Or
you seemed-
emails.
Okay. Soon enough, they'll get to text. Okay, Chairman?
Yes. And you just renewed your license, in fact.
I'm about to. I got to do that. Thanks for reminding me.
You got like,
Expires May 31st. I got to get
are you
it.
May? Or,
May, yeah.
oh,
planner license in May,
I'm
yeah.
April. All right. I just figured, I thought you were on the same schedule. Does anyone on the board have any questions or objections regarding this witness? There being no objections, the witness is accepted as expert in professional planning.
Thank you, Board. Always a pleasure being here. I've missed you the last couple months, so it's good.
And
it's
we
good to
missed
be
you
here.
too.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm going to keep this brief. This is a very simple application. Mr. Dubenet did a great job before me setting up the application. This is a C variance request for a specific piece of property known as Block 5100, Lot 12. This is an oversized lot in the R3 district. You heard the numbers. It's a 19,360 square foot lot, whereas 15,000 square foot is required. This is a property that meets the habitable floor area ratio requirement. It's under by 0.5%. Essentially, when you do the math, the code allows 704 square feet of floor area per every 3,000 square feet of property area. Here, the applicant has an additional 4,360 square feet of lot area and is only requesting an additional 455 square feet of floor area. So when you look at the ratios here that the applicant's requesting, it's a very reasonable ask given the fact that the lot is extremely oversized. And you heard Mr. Dubenet indicate that 80 square feet of that is the double counted foyer. So we're only looking at a request of an additional 370 square feet of living space here. That variance certainly could be granted under the C2 criteria, whereas it relates to a specific piece of property, the oversized lot in the R3 district. In terms of advancing the purposes of zoning of the municipal land use law, this proposal certainly advances purpose A, to encourage municipal action to guide the appropriate use of lands in a manner which will promote the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. That's done through an updated dwelling being built to current code standards and current design. It also advances purpose G to provide sufficient space in appropriate locations for a variety of residential uses to meet the needs of New Jersey citizens. And then lastly, through the impeccably designed building by Mr. Dubenet, it certainly promotes a desirable visual environment through creative development techniques and good civic design and arrangement. That is purpose I. Certainly, the benefits from granting this variance would outweigh any detriment. This proposal advances objectives of the 2018 master plan, specifically to support the improvement of properties such as facade improvements. I also had a chance to look at the neighborhood compatibility. There are numerous other homes within this block that exceed the square footage that the applicant's proposing this evening. So for all those factors, the board could grant this C variance request under the C2 criteria, advancing purposes of zoning A, G, and I without substantial detriment to the zone, plan, zoning ordinance, or the public good.
Thank you. Does anyone on the board have any questions for this witness? Does anybody in the public have any questions for this witness? Does anybody in the public want to make a statement regarding this application? You want to have a closing statement at all, or
No, I think we put forth our testimony.
would someone on the board like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Khan. Yes. Mr. Kenya, yes. Mr. Horn. Yes. Mr. Shah.
Yes.
Mr. Sherman.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Beer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
There you go. Good luck.
Okay.
Please call the next application.
Yes. Okay. Block 2102, Lot 17, 5 Orchard Lane, application number 2026-7V, David and Margaret Drill. Applicant seeks approval for the expansion of the den and an addition in violation of the following section, 170-98C2, front yard setback 50 feet required, 40.4 feet proposed, 9.6 feet variance requested. 170-87CC3, habitable floor area ratio 21% allowed, 22.6% proposed, 1.6% variance requested.
Okay. Sir, can you just hit the button to activate your mic? Okay. I'm going to make a wild guess based upon your shirt that you are Mr. Drill.
Yes,
Okay, and you're the owner of the property, correct?
yes, me and my wife.
Okay, and you have your architect with you tonight?
Yes,
And is he going to do all the talking for you?
yes.
Wow, okay. You're a man of few words, but right to the point. Okay, so we're going to swear in your architect, and then we can proceed from there. Do you swear affirm and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
Okay, can you do us the favor of stating and spelling your name for the record?
Robert Emmert Jr., Robert Emmert, E-M-E-R-T, Jr.
Okay, and Mr. Emmert has appeared before this board on numerous occasions, been qualified in the field of architecture, and I'm going to make a wild guess that his license in the state of New Jersey to practice in the field of architecture is up to date, correct?
It is, yes, it is.
Okay, Chairman?
All right. Does anyone on the board have any questions or objections regarding this witness? There being no objections, the witness is accepted as an expert in architecture.
Okay. So it's a pretty straightforward addition. It's an existing split level on Orchard Lane. It has 3 bedrooms and 1 shared hall bathroom. So the intent of the addition is to build out over the 1-story garage, do a 4th bedroom over the 1-story garage, and create a 4th bedroom with its own bathroom and a closet, a shared closet for the owners of the property. So that is where we run into the first variance, because we are following the outline of the existing garage, and the front yard setback of the garage in the house is 40.4 feet. And so we are proposing to match that setback. So and 50 feet is required in this zone. So we are asking for a 9.6 foot variance, and you can see the pink outline is the existing setback and how it comes into the house, the 9.6 feet. So, but we're building in the shaded area here, which is the 1-story garage. We are also doing there's an existing, an older sunroom den area over here. We are going to tear it down and build over it and expand out. So with this rectangle where the yellow is, and that's going to be a 1-story family room addition, which is this space here. So we've torn down what is here and just increased the size of that. But that addition stays all within the setbacks required. So that addition is not an issue. But when we add everything else, all right, and so there is going to be one change to this. Because when we got into the design project, part of the intent was to convert the lower level. We were going to take one garage bay away, and we were going to convert living space for a mother-in-law suite down there, and to come in through the lower level when we could do everything on grade. Unfortunately, that is no longer going to happen because the mother-in-law has passed away. So we are not going to make this change. So what ends up happening, as far as my tabula, basically what's going to happen is going to shift numbers around, but and I can give you the exact numbers, but the floor area ratio we're asking is, instead of 1.6, is now going to be 0.8, because the garage is going to stay what it is. And the way those numbers work is this garage will stay at 560. Previously, we were taking 223 away for expansion here. So it's going to stay at 560, which means it'll have 110 square feet of floor area ratio. And we are not adding this 223 to the lower level because it's going to stay up there in the garage. So the 3513 gets reduced. I got it here. The 3513, so once you minus the 223 and you add back in the 110, we're at 3,400, which is 21.8% instead of the 21%. So we're only asking for 0.8% habitable floor area variance. So those are the two variances. One is the setback, and that's based on the existing location of the house, its existing setback from the street. But we are following within the footprint of the existing house. And we are doing some other minor things. We are adding a front porch, which is completely allowed. You know, we're staying within the 6-foot setback. So we're adding a front porch, squaring off the deck in the rear. But as far as the variances, it's the front yard setback and the habitable floor area.
Okay, so, Mr. Emmer, just when we just clarify a few things for the record, just so the board knows exactly what they're voting on. So the plan that we see up now behind you, that plan for that lower level is going to be amended, so there's not going to be what I'm looking at behind.
It's going to be amended to show the existing conditions of the house. The existing conditions of the house on this level are not going to change.
Okay, so as a result of not making the changes to the basement, right?
The lower level. It's on grade.
The lower level area, this causes a reduction in total area for the home, and also consequently a reduction in the request for the floor area ratio. And instead of it being 1.6 as current on your plans, it's now going to be 0.8%, correct? So, all right, and I think you would agree with me that if the board were to look favorably on this application, that the applicant knows that the board would be only granting a variance, if it were to grant the variance, it would only be granting the variance, as you explained here tonight, with regard to not making any changes to the lower level and the floor area ratio of 0.8. And that as a condition of approval, I think you'd agree with me that you need to provide plans, updated plans, which show that the lower level is not going to be touched.
Fair, not a problem.
Thank you, Counselor.
When you say present the plans
Not Todd.
No, after, yeah.
to the building department
Yeah,
showing.
once you're done,
Okay.
once you're done with us, you're done with us. But as a condition of approval, it would have to go back to Ms. Hollis, and I leave you in her very capable hands.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any questions for this witness? Go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. I just have one quick question for you. You mentioned that the sunroom is being torn down.
Correct.
Is the house staying, you're just adding on, but you're not tearing anything else? The house is not coming down and rebuilding? You're leaving the house as is, keeping the exact footprint?
We are tearing off the roof of the garage. It's a two-car garage. We are tearing off the roof of the garage, which is, this footprint here, because it's only a one-story garage.
Right.
So we're tearing that off, and we're building the second floor addition
Over the garage, and that's, okay. And the only thing that's being torn down is the sunroom?
And then the sunroom
Okay.
is being torn down.
Thank you.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions for this witness? Does anybody on the board have any questions for this witness? The public, thank you. Does anybody in the public want to make a statement regarding this application? Okay, would you like to do any closing, or are you good?
I am good.
Okay. Anybody on the board want to make a motion?
Subject to the conditions as council stated, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Mr. Sherman,
Yes.
Mr. King, yes, Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Khan,
Yes.
Mr. Beer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Congratulations and
Thank you.
our condolences.
Thank you.
Block 2800, Lot 15, 7 Wardle Road, application number 2026-16-V, Lake Johnny, applicant seeks approval to construct a new single-family dwelling in violation of the following section: 170-99C2, front yard setback 40 feet required, 68.61 feet proposed, 28.61 feet variance requested. 170-99C3, left side yard setback 10 feet required, 6.24 feet proposed, 3.76 feet variance requested. 170-87 CC4, habitable floor area ratio 30% allowed, 32.7% proposed, 2.7% variance requested.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all again. For
Nice
the
to see you.
record's purpose, my name is Stephen Shepis. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Joni. May I be seated?
Be comfortable.
Our only witness for you this evening is John Babula. Mr. Babula is a licensed architect. He prepared the plans that are subject of tonight's presentation. So without ado, I'd like to have him sworn, briefly place his credentials on the record, and walk us through the facts.
All right, Mr. Barbula, do you swear firm to tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
Okay, Ms. Barbula, please state and spell your name for the record.
It's Jonathan Babula, B-A-B-U-L-A.
All right, Ms. Barbula, you've appeared before this board, been qualified in the field of architecture.
Correct.
And you are, your license to practice in the field of architecture in the state of New Jersey is up to date?
It is. Yes.
Okay, Chairman?
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any questions or objections regarding this witness? There being no objection, the witness is accepted as expert in architecture.
Okay, very good. Mr. Babula, while you're about to give your testimony, I've shown you an exhibit that we're going to introduce as Exhibit A1, aerial photograph and some pictures of the subject dwelling as well as neighborhood photos. Have you reviewed this document marked as A1 that I'm about to hand to the board?
Yes.
Did the photographs fairly and accurately reflect the conditions of the existing home at 7 Wardell as well as the homes in the neighborhood as they're identified in that exhibit?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to hand that up to the board, and then we can just move along. Mr. Babula, while I'm doing that, why don't you please describe for the board and the public what exists on the subject property today? Tell us what you know about the house, and then what we propose in the way of modification.
The existing home is a home that was built in the 1940s. It is a older, typical Cape Cod style home. It's a little bit outdated for today's living style and standards. It is about 14 feet off the road and about 3 feet off the right side property. And so we are proposing to demolish this home and construct a new two-story dwelling that is a little bit more conforming and set back a little bit further.
Okay, Mr. Babula, tell us what exists on the right-hand side of the house that exists today. What's it on the adjoining lot to the right?
The adjoining is the neighbor's driveway and a detached garage.
Okay, now, I'm going to draw your attention to page number 4 on Exhibit A1. Can you tell us how close the neighbor's driveway is to the common property line?
It's about 2 feet.
Okay, now, On the opposite side, what do we have on the left-hand side of the subject property? If you could maybe take a look at photo 2 on page 2.
Again, we have the neighbor's driveway and another detached garage.
Okay. Now, how far is the existing house off the right-hand property line?
3.5 feet.
So why don't you tell us what the requirements of the ordinance are as to setbacks and how this house as it exists today comports or doesn't comport with those requirements?
The required side yard setbacks are 10 feet, and for the existing dwelling, on the left side is 16.9, and on the right side is 3.75.
Okay. What about front yard?
The requirements for the front yard is 40 feet, and the existing is 14.8,
What does the ordinance require for lot width?
75 feet.
And how wide is the lot at the street?
This lot at the street is 50 feet wide.
Now, the lot is rather unusually shaped based on your plan. Why don't you show us what that, how's this lot bear out as far as shape?
So the lot starts out at 50 feet wide at the street, and as you go back on the left side, it angles out to become a little bit wider at 67.8.
Okay. Now, how wide is the lot at the very back of the lot?
At the very back of the lot is 67.8 feet.
And where you're proposing to site the house, you noted it was a little over 68 feet from the front property line. How wide is the lot there?
57.
And is it fair to say that as you go further back on the lot becomes a little wider?
Correct.
Okay, so let's talk about what you're proposing.
We are proposing a new two-story dwelling with a two-car garage. The left side yard setback is proposed to be 6.24. The right is going to be 10.10. The front yard is proposed to be 68.6, and we are conforming in the rear at 37.3.
Now, the yard that's on the right-hand side presently now is not conforming, a little less than 4 feet, correct?
Correct.
So you're going to make it a conforming side yard on the right-hand side?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the left-hand side. We're asking the board to grant deviation from the ordinance requirement of 10 feet. You're showing a dimension there of 6.24 feet. Can you tell us why that dimension is proposed rather than a conforming setback of 10 feet?
Because of the width of the house, which is 44 feet, we tried to place the house at the widest part of the property, and we wouldn't be able to fit the two-car garage if we were conforming to the 10 feet.
Now, what about the shape of the lot? Does that have anything to do with the narrowness of the configuration?
The shape of the lot is what's causing the 6-foot side yard setback there.
Have you been able to quantify the square footage of the building that would be violating the side yard setback?
Yes, this little triangle that is over the setback line is about 53 square feet.
Now, apart from that, is it fair to say that the balance of the structure comports with the side yard setback requirements?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about front yard setback. The ordinance has some interpretation that I'm not really sure, but in any event, it's been interpreted by the zoning official that somehow we're required to be no more than like 50 feet from the front property line. Why are you proposing to set the house back at 68 feet?
Again, to minimize the side yard setback, if we were to push the house any farther to the front, this 6.24 would be reduced to about 3 feet. Also, because of the detached garage on either side, pushing the house back allows for more openness and light and air between the neighboring properties there.
Right now, you mentioned that the neighbor's driveway is about 3 feet or 2 feet off the common property line. And on
Correct.
the other side, you have the neighbor's garage and a driveway. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
So is it fair to say by pushing the house back, you're going to be providing a greater separation from those parking areas?
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about the habitable floor area and habitable floor area ratio. What's the maximum habitable floor area permitted in the zone?
3,220, and we are proposing 3,201. So we
you're-
are about 20 square feet under.
Okay, now let's talk about the ratio you don't comply with.
Correct. 30% is required, and we are at 32.7, which is about 270 square feet.
Now let's talk about that 270 square feet. Why can't you shave this any further to make it compliant? What's the difficulties associated with that, and what benefits by granting the deviation would result from this project?
We, as you can see in the left side elevation here, we did step back the second floor to reduce the habitable floor area, so it does not occupy all of the first floor. Also, with the layout and the designs, it is a little bit narrow in the front with the two-car garage, so making it any narrow and reducing the square footage, we would have much smaller bedrooms, and we wouldn't be able to fit a two-car garage.
Okay, now, let's talk about what the house will look like. Can you show us what the edifice would look like from the street?
Sure. This is the front elevation, and this is the proposed two-story, more modern design.
Talk about the exterior materials that would be seen by passersby.
So it's a mix of some vertical batten board siding with some cultured stone on the garage and lower levels of the first floor, with a mix of asphalt shingles and metal roofing.
Okay. I don't have anything further, Mr. Babula, with regard to the architectural layout and the existing conditions.
Does anybody on the board have any questions for this witness?
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for the exhibit A1 you submitted. My one question is, I understand for the design to make it more efficient, you have set it back to 68 feet. But what I see from the pictures is that all the neighborhood properties immediately, they are in that 14 to 20 feet range, if I'm looking at this correctly. If I look at the properties right next to it, they are pretty close to the curb line. Having this property set so far, definitely, it's nice that you're complying, but would that affect the neighborhood look a lot? What do you say about it? Because this is, if I look at this garage here in this existing picture, that's where the new property would be, at least the facade of it. So do you think that will be too deep a setback to conform with the neighborhood feel?
This neighborhood, the street, is kind of in a transition area where there are homes across the street from this that are further set back, at the 40 or 50 foot there. So I think, because this is in a transition street, that more and more will conform and it will fit in.
I would also point out to Exhibit A1, and I draw your attention to Photo 2. The houses that are the house that's immediately to the left appears to have its frontage on South Livingston Avenue, and then likewise, all of the other homes that are along our side yard have frontage on the side street. So the back of those homes face our home, so it's not as though there's a consistent line immediately to our left. To the contrary, it's their backyards that abut our side yard. And one of the considerations we gave in placing the house here, Mr. Babula, correct me if I'm wrong, is the fact that we're in everybody else's backyard, and what they have in their backyard is primarily accessory structures like sheds and garages. So as far as the neighbors are concerned on the left, we're in their backyard, and as far as the neighbor is concerned on the right, he's got his driveway butt up against this house, and meanwhile, he's looking in our windows. So it just didn't seem like an appropriate location, and especially in light of the fact that we're only 50 feet wide at the street and the ordinance requires 75. So, Mr. Babula, you tell me, is there a better separation with this setback as compared to what exists today as it relates to just light air, open space as relates to the dwelling units?
Yes, I believe there is.
Does anybody else have any questions for this witness?
Yeah, just following up on that, because that was my question. Is the portion that is 6.74 away, is that, at that particular spot, is that the neighbor's backyard? When I say backyard, meaning the South Livingston Avenue property backyard, rear yard?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does anybody else on the board have any questions for this witness? Does anybody in the public have any questions for this witness? Would anybody in the public like to make a statement regarding this application? Back to you, if you'd like to close, or?
I would only make this comment. Right now, these houses are a matter of like 10 or 15 feet apart. You got the neighbor's driveway right up against the side property line. You got cars coming and going into the back. You've got the neighbor's garage in the front yard. It's not a very desirable layout as it exists today. And while it's not a perfect situation, and I acknowledge that it's not perfect, but I believe it's, and as Mr. Babula testified, it's a vast improvement from what exists today. The house that's there today was built in 1940. Houses were not built to last 100 years. It's time for change. And as you can see from the photographs, the neighborhood is in transition. The board granted similar relief for property immediately across the street at 10 Wardell. So it seems that what you see going on out there is enhancements, and this would only further that purpose. Thanks.
Okay, would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. Mr. Keating, Mr. Horn,
Approve, yes.
Mr. Shah,
Yes.
Mr. Sherman,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Ms. Khan,
Yes.
Mr. Beer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Have a pleasant
Okay,
day.
Block 5601, Lot 18, 189 Hillside Avenue, application number 2025-115V. Iya Traskunov, applicant seeks approval for the second floor addition and detached garage in violation of the following sections. 170-98C2, front yard setback 50 feet required, 28.2 feet proposed, 21.8 feet variance requested. 170-98C3, right side yard setback 10 feet required, 0 proposed, 10 feet variance requested. 170-98C3, left side yard setback 10 feet required, 4.2 feet proposed, 5.8 feet variance requested. 170-99C3, aggregate side yard 30 feet required, 8.4 feet proposed, 21.6 feet variance requested. 21.6% variance requested. 170-87CC3, habitable floor area ratio 21% allowed, 33.7% proposed, 12.7% variance requested. Accessory building, detached garage, 170-87E1, height 13 feet allowed, 15 feet proposed, 2 feet variance requested. 170-87E1D3, side yard setback 7 feet required, 5 feet variance proposed, 2 feet variance requested. 170-87E1D3, rear yard setback 7 feet required, 5 feet proposed, 2 feet variance requested.
Okay, so you're going to be the only witness tonight for the applicant?
I
Okay.
will represent myself, yes.
Okay, you're the owner of the property?
I'm the owner of 189 Hillside Avenue.
Okay, and you are not the person who prepared the plans, though?
Yes.
Okay, meaning, okay, I said that in the wrong way. Did you prepare these plans?
Yes. I draw
Okay,
these
that
plans,
was,
right.
yeah, it was a double negative, make it proof positive.
Oh, I didn't hear the negative, I'm
No,
sorry.
It's all right, well, let's
prepared only for positive
let's swear you in, Ilya. Do you swear firm to tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
Can you do us the favor of stating and spelling your name for the record?
My name Ilya Traskunov, ILYATRASKUNOV.
Okay, and Mr. Traskunov, you are the owner of the property, correct?
Yes. correct.
And you are also the architect or
No,
engineer?
I'm not architect. I have a master's degree in Soviet Union as I graduated from University of Architect and Civil Engineering, and I have a master's degree in civil engineering.
Okay, are you licensed to practice in the state of New Jersey in the field of engineering?
No.
Okay. All right, so we're going to not qualify you as an expert, okay? Because you have to have certification in the state of New Jersey to be considered an expert. But obviously, you're an expert in your own home, so you know about the home. So you're going to be testifying as a fact witness.
Yes.
Okay? All right. So, Traskunov, why don't you go ahead and tell us about the project?
So the building was built in 1941 as Cape Cod, and since then it was no improvements or additions, and still the same as it was. It's one and a half floor, means it's a dorm on the first floor, one bathroom, 1 bedroom, 1 nursery, which we use as a bedroom also when kids were small. We live in this building for 16 years already. We moved to Livingston 2010. And we bought it in 2017. It's the same building. So since then, I was thinking about improvements, additions. And finally, I decided to go for the second floor and detached garage. This garage that we have right now, it's not usable for cars. It's too small, 9 feet. It can be used only like a storage. So there is no garage. So whole idea of that addition, it's a second floor and a detached garage in the backyard. Garage is current garage, attached garage supposed to be demolished to give access to backyard, because there is no access to backyard at all. We have a 4 feet on the left side, setback on the left side, and the right side we have a 2 feet only. So the proposed addition of the second floor definitely take all the, because it's existing non-conforming the residence, everything that you touch became need variances. So on the left side setback we have existing 4.2 feet, and I requesting the same as to match existing setback to continue with second floor wall. Front yard we have 32 feet, and I request variance for 28 to build. Let me just go to the proper. Here, this is the first floor plan. So to build enclosed entrance, which increase efficiency of the building, and to build a nook, so that will increase a little bit space for the living room. Also, it's involve 6 feet extension of the kitchen, first floor, to the backyard, which doesn't go beyond the permitted 75 feet. I think it's a backyard setback. Second floor will be within the same, with the same plan. No different with setback. On the left side 4.2, front yard will be 28.2. Backyard, there is no necessity for variance. I requested also variance for right side because I would like to have a carport, which is just awning and whatever it's called, shed that doesn't go to the ground. Just it's like that. Let me show. Like that. It's you see that's a carport, and also variance here goes for total habitable area is below the maximum permitted. We have 24.48 feet total area, which is below the 3520 required permitted area, habitable area. The problem here is habitable floor ratio, because it is required variance, because it's due to undersized plot, because it's less than half of permitted in this R3 area zone. It requires variance, but the total habitable floor area below the permitted. Also, 2 more variants I requested, because I would like to have to build garage in the backyard, but required setback is 7 feet from the property line, but because of undersized plot, I asked for 5 feet from both sides, which is enough for maintenance safe of the garage. Last variance I requested, it was 15 feet tall heights of garage instead of permitted 13, to make it more space allowed for this undersized area. That technically what I would like to say about my design. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, through you, Chair, just to clear up a couple of things, just so
Yeah,
we're all on this.
some of sets doesn't have photos. If somebody want it, I can give it. I have a set.
But I think that was that part of the packet?
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
That's part of the packet.
No,
So the board has
I
it.
know that one was without pictures, so that was.
Okay.
But it's okay. It's here.
So, sir, let me just run down a few of these things and just so that we're all on the same page with this, okay? The front yard setback, that's pre-existing, correct?
Yes, pre-existing. Yes.
It's only because you're adding a second level, correct? Because you're adding the second level, you now have to ask for the front yard variance. You're not moving the front of the building further forward.
No, it's not exactly. If the second floor will be like a pre-existing, the same. The first floor will have
A nook. Okay,
yes,
so.
the first floor, not
so
the
there-
second
so-
floor.
So the front part is only violated by virtue of the small nook space that you're adding to the front,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. The right side, we'll get to the right side in a second. Get to the right side in a
I
second.
know.
The left side is pre-existing, correct?
Correct.
And there's no push-out on that? That's just from the second floor?
Yes.
Okay. The side yard, well, the side yard goes along with the right side, so we'll get to that in a second. The habitable floor area, you've already testified to that's, you're under the actual habitable floor area, but you're violating the ratio.
Right. Yes.
Simply because your lot size is about half the size of what a lot is in that zone.
Yes.
Okay. And then we get to the garage. All of those variances for the garage are new because of where you're putting the garage.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Let's go to the right side for a second. The right side is only violated by virtue of the carport, that open structure.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay. And you would agree with me that the right side setback then adds to your issue with regard to the aggregate side yard because you're using
Yes.
both?
Aggregate
Okay.
set. I forgot to mention aggregate.
It's okay. That's why they have the guy in the bow tie to help out. And then your, okay, and then your attached garage. Okay, I just wanted to clarify those pieces. Chair, back to you, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Does anyone on the board have any questions for this witness?
I have a few. All right, so first with the garage in the back. I know you have it at, 5 feet off the line. I know that 7 feet is what's required. Huh? No, it's 7 feet for the back.
It's a 7. Yes.
The, for the garage slash shed, whatever. I'm trying to eliminate some things here, if we could, eliminate all these some of these variances, but, I don't see why that can't be moved over, so it's at least the 7 feet off the extra 2 feet in both directions.
Because it's a size of the property is 50 feet. If they're gonna be a garage 12 feet inside, so it means it's a 13 or 12 and a half. Outside measurement plus 7 feet, it's already 20 feet. So it will be like a half of the property will be. So I'm trying to move closer to the property line to make it, to keep the distance setback from the property to be able to properly maintain the garage sides, but I'm trying to make it as less as possible because I know that 2 feet, it's technically, it's not a big distance, but this is what when a plot is too small, even 1 feet is make difference. So this is why I'm asking for 2 variance, for 2 feet variance.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just add, this is more like an R4 zone, and that would be 5 feet required in R4, so it's something we can consider.
Gotcha. Other question is on the carport. I see that you have a railing that's on the carport.
That is kind of, I thought design, but it's not. It will be just roof, no railing, no area to walk or to have a fun. No.
So would you be okay with well, 2 conditions of approval? One being no railing on the carport, roof only, and that the carport is open on all sides?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else have any comments?
I have a question. Why do you have to have a detached garage that is 15 feet high instead of 13?
That because the 15 feet gives you space to store the stuff in a garage, and because again there is no way to store it on the property because too small. I'm trying to design some garage with the possibility to store different equipment that needed to for maintain the house, for gardening, whatever it is. When my wife, she likes gardening, she needs a lot of stuff to store. That is 15 feet I ask variance for.
Oh, would you say that that would be absolutely no living space or electricity or plumbing on in that space?
No, that will be 100% garage, not living space at all. No.
So the carport, even if it's open, you want to have the support legs, et cetera. You're going to have some structure that with a 0 setback for the carport? Is that what you're proposing?
The support can be different. It can be from the top. It can be designed to hold it roof.
But the roof's going to come out to a 0 setback, just so I know what we're looking at. It's going to
That's
go all
what
the way
I
up to 0. Right, okay.
thought about that, yes.
Yeah, I think maybe to help Mr. Weissman's, answer Mr. Weissman's question, how wide is the carport?
Carport is 12 feet.
So the carport, just so, I think I knew where you were going, Mr. Weissman.
It means carport from the existing wall, which is 12 feet from the property line, up to the property line that we have with my neighbor.
Well, I'm trying to get a sense of how close to the neighbor. You're going to be right on the line with the.
Yeah, the roof will be ended.
The roof will be technically, so if you're on the line, you're looking up, that's the end of the carport. Now that he may have to put columns to support it.
Right.
In the column, so I will do design that will eliminate the columns. It will be shed.
I think that's up to how it ends up getting built, that's up to construction code.
Yes.
Can I just sort of like, because it's really a 2-part question. The first is, I can't tell, but from looking at the plans, it looks like you're doing major, I'm not saying, like major construction, like a lot of the walls of the whole house are changing. It's oh, no?
No.
Okay.
It's existing house. Let me show you, where is it? Smells fresh, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. This is existing floor plan, right? This is existing floor, 25 by 33. Okay, so if you go to the next page, The only difference here,
Okay.
it's back 6 feet for the first floor to the backyard, and the nook to the front yard. The side walls stay as is. I mean, the same setback.
Okay, and then the reason I ask, and it's not our place to design, but I want to mention it and see if you've considered it, because it might be for your benefit, but that's why I ask, because it is much more expensive. But we have, for example, there's two on Hillside, where we did give a Hillside Terrace, or we get similar, where they were undersized lots at 50 feet. And I think we gave some variance, but improved overall, because they built a new house within 10-foot setbacks, but we're actually able to fit in a two-car garage and more square footage, et cetera, so it was better for the whole community. I don't know if you've considered something like that that's actually better for you and the community, and you're not encroaching on the neighbor. Because I know you have this hardship, but there's, we've seen other ways where it's been done that's better for the homeowner and the community.
The better part of that it will be more accessible from like security. In the case of emergency, it will be accessible all around the house. Right now, there is no access for two buildings that we have in a row. The same problem has my neighbor has the same issue. So when it will be a carport or open space, it will be accessible the backyard. For the area, so it will be better for community if something, for God's sake, happen. So and for living in this house, it will be also because it gives them more space to fill more space. Right now, it's like a wall. You don't have it. From inside, if you're sitting in the backyard, you covered your wall. You don't, I mean, the wall from the outside wall. In some cases, it's good to be separated from outside wall, but not always, right? So the same with front yard. You don't see what's behind. When it will be a carport, if it's just a technically open space, it will benefit for, that's my opinion.
Chime in here a little bit. It looks like, if I have to guess, the adjoining dwelling is probably about 6 feet off the property line, maybe 6 or 7. It's not 10, I don't think.
What side?
On your right side.
On the right side, it is, I think, the same 4 feet.
Okay, so
4 feet plus to the property line.
I get the hardships. I personally get, what you're trying to do here. You're working with a very difficult lot. But once we start to get close to the neighbors, we start to get a little itchy maybe. And we have a neighbor that's 4 feet off on one side. You're looking to come right up to his side. What if the neighbor sells and the guy wants to build a house? I mean, unfortunately, it's a very narrow lot. And I don't know what the proper solution is, but I'm having a lot of trouble coming right up to the line. Because we've never come that close to the line, ever. 6, 7 feet, 0, that's really questionable, and if you build it, even if it's supported, you're an engineer, I'm an engineer, we could support it, maybe in the future, now you need columns, there's columns there, things happen. I'm just, personally, I have a little trouble with that. I understand you want to have as much room as possible for the gardening and everything else, we all like to do that, but I think I need a better reason to make the roof of the garage more than 13 feet. These are very narrow, you're up against the corner, it just becomes a bigger building for the neighbors to look at. I'm having trouble with a bunch of things. I'd like to hear from my other colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. Beer. That was actually one of my questions. I had 2 questions, but that was one of them. My second question was, your existing roof line is 20.5 feet, correct? And you would like to go to 34.1 feet?
We go to the 35 permitted from the ground.
Well, on the plans, it says 34.1 is your proposed. Right? The required is 35. I mean, it's just a foot, but basically you're going up another 14 feet. So my question to you is, do you know from the roof line to the height of the attic, do you have any idea what the height is at the highest point in the attic?
Highest point attic will be the roof age. It's 130.3. It's 35 feet from the ground level.
So it's 35, not 34.1, okay.
Yes.
But the attic, do you have any idea how high, the highest point of the roof line for the attic, do you have any idea how high that is?
Like maybe 10 feet, the highest?
10 feet?
10 feet,
Okay,
yes.
so, and there are pull-down stairs, how does one get into the attic?
There is a stairs.
Pull-down stairs or?
No, regular stairs.
Oh, regular stairs, okay.
Yes, this is why I count it as a habitable area. There is a plan of the attic on the height of, here's the attic plan on the height of 6 feet, 0.6.
Okay.
Attic plan. And it was included in the habitable area.
Mr. Truskanov, on the carport, the carport basically appears to take the space that the current garage takes. And I only ask this question because normally when you have a carport, it's because you have an adjacent door or entryway there. The carport doesn't have a direct entry point from that, from where you're looking to build it. I mean, you have to go around onto the deck. So is there actually a need that you can express, other than it would be nice to have, I understand that, but from a planning perspective, I'm not sure that there's a articulable need for the carport. Because not living space, right? The only purpose of the carport would be for a person to be there so they don't get wet or get snow on them when they're going into the home, but they would be effectively outside in any event. So, and you have the detached garage. So, because you also, one would argue, I don't have a detached garage, therefore I need the carport, but here you're asking for the detached garage, and in essence, the right side variance is for the carport, which is not really adding anything to your living space. So I don't think that there's an articulable planning need for the carport.
I would say like that. I planned only carport, but because my title is building house with the attached garage, even I have demolished garage, I have to build it. That's what I told, that I have to have a garage because my title says garage. So if was a possibility be without garage, I would leave only carport.
Right, so.
But because of that, but carport I have only because of the, like you say, because of the elements, because it's protect the car, everything is from the top. Snow, rain, possibility.
Mr. Truskanov, would you agree that if you were to remove the carport, that would eliminate your request for the right side yard setback, correct?
Okay.
And it would also reduce, and I don't, I'm not an engineer, I don't do numbers, but I'm sure somebody else would figure this out. But it would also reduce, I don't know if it would eliminate, but it would certainly reduce the aggregate side yard percentage. So while you're asking for these other variances, with regard to the pre-existing condition and the variance for the detached garage to, for a better planning alternative for the detached garage, that maybe by the elimination of the carport, that would result in a better plan overall. What do you think?
I would think about making carport smaller to eliminate zero setback, like make it 2 feet. If that is going to be permitted, I will be okay with that. Instead of zero setback for the right side, I would go for 2.
Can I ask a question? The current garage,
It's
how
two.
far is that off the property line?
2 feet, less than 2 feet. But it cannot be used because it's a small. If it will be open space, car can go in.
I understand that, right? And as you, understandably, your statement of you're building a garage detached that you are able to park a motor vehicle in because it's of a proper size.
Yeah, but
Okay.
garage is for 1 car.
Understand, but
We
today.
have 3 people living right now. We have 3 cars already at that time, so that's why I'm asking for carport to have another car to be covered, and that's my point.
Would you be amenable to the carport having the same setback as the existing garage has?
I will be
which is 2
okay.
feet?
I will be okay. Existing setback for the garage, as I said, 2 feet from the property line. If I can go for because roof is still enough to cover, and if it fit our purpose, it's okay.
How do you control the snow and the rain from going into the neighbor's property then? If you have only, 0 to 2 feet, if we have a winter like we had now, we're going to slide down and fall over onto the next property.
It will not, because it depends how you build the roof over. If you build the roof to the property, it will slide to the neighbor. If you build it along the driveway, back and front, like my garage right now, it will not affect my neighbor's safety, because the snow will slide front and back.
Understood. I'm not quite sure how that gets supported, but that's okay. Why don't we see if there's any, go ahead, Mr. Shah.
Yeah, I have just one small comment. The front yard setback is also incorrect. I think you are asking for 28.2, but if you add the nook, it should be 29.45. So in my opinion, it should be 23 feet setback that you are, the variance that you're requesting. It should be 29.45, because the nook is a little outer, a little out than.
This measurement is wrong then.
That is correct.
Are you reading here?
In my opinion.
Oh, we can correct that. Why don't we see if there's any comments from the public? Any questions for this witness?
Just 1 second. My existing setback is 32.9. So minus 4.5, it will be 28.2. That I think what I requested for. Yeah. Yes. So it's 4.5. So that's my calculation was, if I'm right.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Does anybody in the public have any questions for this witness? Please come up. Come up to the mic.
I'm Donald Schaefer. I live adjacent to the Mr. Truskanov. And
Left side or right side as we look at the house?
If we're facing the
Carport
house.
side.
I'm on the right-hand side,
Okay, so further from,
the zero setback side.
yeah.
Yeah, the carport side.
And I just have a couple comments.
Oh, right now, just questions, then we do comments.
What's that?
There's a procedural order. Questions come first and then comments.
Okay,
So if you have any questions at the moment, ask questions. If not, just stand there for a few seconds.
okay. No, it's, comments is what I have, but I do have a question.
Yes.
About the improvements. The plan doesn't have exactly how you get from point A to point B in terms of the surface for the driveway. Will that be macadam or crushed stone maybe? Any
That's not something that
Not a
is
question?
done before this board. The materials are up to the applicant to do in line with the construction code
Okay.
officials.
Okay, so hold your spot. Does anybody else have any questions? There being no questions, we'd like to hear from you for your comments.
Comment?
Okay, but yes, this is where you would.
Yeah. Do you swear for and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Schaefer.
Okay, so, as I said, I live to the side. We have 3 houses in a row that are what are commonly called Cape Cod style houses. The Cape Cod style house dates back all the way to the 1700s. In the 30s and 40s, they became popular here in the States, particularly because they could fit on smaller lots. So that's how we got our 3 houses in a row. I have a 50-foot by 100-foot property. Our houses are pretty much identical. Then there's a third house going toward Northfield that is also a sort of a Cape Cod style house. And so we have 3 in a row. I'll call him
Neighbor,
Ilya for
neighbor,
sure.
neighbor. You can call me
What
neighbor.
Ilya has in mind, or at least the architectural design, is quite similar actually to the third house. That would be the house closest to Northfield. Typically, the Cape Cod style house did have for a number of years carports, or I guess they were called porticos, because they dated back so far before cars. So consistent with design, the carport or portico is kind of architecturally consistent with the design and consistent with how the houses and why the houses were built that way. Both our houses only have 8.5-foot wide garages. So when they built those houses, they built them with small garages, and the only type car you can get in those garages is a small, like a Volkswagen Bug. So that's the biggest problem. Also, what the problem is, and I've had it for a number of years, currently I don't, but for a number of years, we always have problems with jockeying cars around. That's a big deal. So what that carport will do for the neighbor is give him actually an extra parking space, and possibly a little bit more if he wants to park all the way to the rear of the property. We do have an accessory garage on the third house, which isn't all the way to the back of the property. It's more mid-range in the property. In terms of the design, I think it's a positive thing to see somebody actually renovating a house as opposed to succumbing to the pressures of the real estate market and selling to a flipper or whatever and building a big square box. So I give him credit for wanting to improve his house, which, judging from the ages, it is, modernization is a good thing. When you're talking about the accessory garage, it would be nicer to see it a little bit lower, but for a long time, I understand just today that they've changed the height, how you calculate the heights on the accessory garages or accessory structures, even a storage shed. But for many years, we have had in the ordinance a gauge in terms of how do you determine height. And that would have been, or was for many years, I think it's probably still in the ordinance too. I didn't go that far to search it. But if you measure midway between the uppermost plate and the ridge, that's where you measure. You can measure the 13 feet at that measure as long as you have a sloping roof. So he's pretty much consistent, even though I don't really want to be looking at a garage in my backyard, but he's pretty much consistent with that, those numbers, which held true for many years in terms of our local zoning ordinance. What else? Aesthetics, a little foo-foo or guardrail on the top of a portico, that doesn't seem to bother me. In terms of drainage, though, I know it's not your jurisdiction, but we can always get a suggestion. We are in line to have new sidewalks throughout the town, improvements for the kids going to school and walkers. We get a lot of walkers nowadays. We could actually use drainage from our property down to a storm sewer, which is down on the corner of Northfield. They never, when they improved the roads and took a lot of our setback away, one of the reasons we need the front yard setback is because our properties were cut back in order to widen and safen Hillside Avenue. So at one time, we had enough setback, but because of the safening of the road, we lost it. But when they put those new sidewalks in, if we could get a pipe along the inside of the curb to get us down to the storm sewer.
That's really for our municipal council.
Yes, but you do have authorities to make suggestions.
No, not really on that, but I understand what you're saying. It sounds to me like you're saying just to sum it up, you're saying that you really don't have a problem with the carport as it's presented.
Well, when it comes to the numbers, I like the idea of going back to at least what the existing setback was.
Okay, understood.
And if you look closely, I think that's on the survey, I think it's 3.3 point feet. It's on your survey, it's right in front of you there.
All right.
I have
Thank
the
you,
same
Ms. Schaefer.
thing. I have about the same setbacks. We're pretty much two identical houses.
Okay.
Excellent, thank
I
you.
think that's it.
We appreciate your
Thanks.
comments.
Thanks for listening.
Okay. Any additional comments from the board based on what we've heard? I mean, I will say I'm still concerned about what I was concerned at before. So the question to you, sir, is we have an application before us, and we need to take a vote. If there's anything you would like to adjust based on what you presented, feel free. If not, we vote on what is presented. If it goes through, it's yours. If it doesn't, you would have to come back with a substantially different plan. I'm just laying that out to you because there's been a lot of questions. You sat here the whole time. There was many more questions for this application than there was for the last 4 combined. So, want to add anything, or?
No, I think that Mr. Traskinoff had indicated, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, sir, but I think he indicated that you would, as condition of approval, agree to move the carport back to the original
existing
line of the current garage. I
Yes.
think it is 3.3 feet off the property line, but
Possibly,
I think
yes.
that's what's shown on, I think that's what's shown on the survey.
Yes. Okay.
So, and you would try to eliminate the columns if you can, but, you know, would you agree with me that
Yes.
you would agree to that as a condition of approval?
Yes.
I knew you would.
Anything about the garage height? Where do we stand with that? We're 15 or 13?
Wait, just for the purpose of the record, let's just clear something up. The front yard setback is actually at 4,
It's right now it's 28.2.
32.9.
29. Right, but the actual, wait, one person, I got the talking pen. So 29 foot is the actual front yard setback, so the variance would have to be for 21 feet. I think we're still in a front yard setback situation. So that still remains to be a variance condition. Okay. So, Mr. Traskinoff, I keep cheating by looking down at my.
I just, may I ask a question? Where is 29? When
All
you
right,
see
well,
29?
okay, we're
I'm sorry.
we're getting into minutia here. There's a front yard setback that remains to be requested because you need 50 feet, and you certainly agree with me, you're not within 50 feet, correct?
No,
Okay.
50 feet cannot be.
And
Yeah.
the calculation may be slightly off, but you're in somewhere between 28 feet and 29 feet in terms of from the property line, generally. I only drove past an engineering school.
We didn't let you stop.
Yeah, well,
It's going to be 25.15.
32, okay, it's
okay.
32.9
All right,
minus
whoa, you have
0.5.
too many,
Okay, I'm sorry. yes.
stop. No,
Yeah.
everybody's got to stop.
Yes,
One person is talking at a time, okay? And not talking to
Not
you,
me.
Bill, yeah, you're doing a great job.
Not me, I understand, okay,
You do better than some attorneys, including guys in bow ties. So, all right, so the board has reviewed it, and the board has determined that the front yard setback is
25.15, based on professional engineer and professional land surveyor.
Okay, so that's the actual distance from the proposed front yard to the front lot line.
That is correct.
All right, that is the variance that you're requesting.
So
It's
that
the same,
means- Yeah.
yeah, I can't do math, so I can't,
Minus 25.
I can't do subtraction well.
25.15, so it's.
That's the front yard variance, okay. Let's get back to the question that was put to you before, Mr. Traskinoff. The height of the garage, you indicated you need that extra 2 feet for storage. There was a question asked if you could, because of the number of variances being requested, would you agree to lower the height of the garage by 2 feet to come into compliance with the ordinance?
okay, I agree.
Okay. So, the height variance for detached garage is no longer required. I knew you'd agree.
I agree, yes.
Okay. Okay, so the two conditions of approval would be to move the carport back to the existing line of the garage, and then secondly, to lower the height of the detached garage to eliminate the variance.
Yes,
All the other variances are requested, yes?
yes.
Okay. Does the board have that?
Does anybody need any clarification?
Just want to be clear, the garage height comes back to being within, so no variance required, and the carport would be along the existing garage line of 3.3 off the property line.
Correct,
And that's without columns, right?
if he can.
Well, the carport just has to remain open.
We can't design the carport.
No,
I don't,
but we could say it has to be open. Like, you can't just put up a wall up on one side, there's.
No, that wouldn't be a carport.
It still would be a carport.
Yeah,
No, that's not what's shown in the plans, and they have to abide by the plans. The carport is going to remain open except for columns, if necessary.
If necessary. I agree.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Last chance? Would someone like to make a motion?
Nobody?
I will make a motion to approve, subject to the condition of elimination of the garage height variance and the condition of the carport must meet the current line of the garage and 3.3 feet off of the property line. And open on all sides other than obviously the house. So 3 sides open, leave the buildings how it's being built separately.
It's a great motion.
Someone like to second? Seconds? Anyone?
Need a second?
I'll second to move it along.
Okay, Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Mr. Beer,
Yes.
Mr. Kenyon, no, because I believe there's no need for a carport if you have a garage. Mr. Shah,
Yes, with the setbacks, as we had discussed, we will give the final numbers.
Mr. Sherman,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Say yes.
okay. Ms. Khan,
I vote no because I think that the carport is unnecessary if you have the garage in the back.
okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Motion passes.
This motion passes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Block 7401, Lot 17, 3 Vanderbilt Drive, application number 2026-1-V, Faizan Ali and Ajma Shah. Applicant seeks approval for the addition expansion to the existing attic in violation of the following section. 170-96C3, side yard setback 15 feet required, 14.9 feet proposed, 0.1 feet variance requested. 170-87BB1, habitable floor area, 6,200 square feet allowed, 7699 square feet proposed, 1499 square feet variance requested. 170-87CC1, habitable floor area ratio, 15% allowed, 20.02% proposed, 5.02% variance requested.
Good evening, everybody.
Can you just move the mic down?
Good evening, everybody.
Okay. And are you the homeowner?
Yes, I am.
Okay, can you please state and spell your name?
My name is Asma Shah, ASMASHAH.
Okay, and you have your architect here to present for you?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so we'll swear him in and have him proceed, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just a brief,
Well, let's just swear you in real quick. Do you swear for and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Thank you. We are we have bought this house with the hope to make it into a home for a multi-generational family. Our previous home in we are residents of Short Hills. The previous home in Short Hills was on quite an elevation, and we have an elderly parent who is a cancer survivor and needs to move in with us. So this house, being as flat as it is, gives easy access in and out for my husband's father, my father-in-law, and that's the reason we bought this property with the hope to make it a home for our foreseeable future. We have 2 kids. I have an older son who is at college and a younger son who's at high school. My college-going son will be moving home this summer because he has anxiety and he needs to be at home to function better at college. So that's why we feel this particular property will basically help us cater to all three generations who would like to inhabit this and make it our home. Thank you. And I love that street and I love that area. So we look forward to making this our home. Thank you. I hand it over to Tom. He
All right.
knows this more than I would.
Okay, so let's swear you in. Do you swear for and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
All right, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Thomas Bayo, B-A-I-O, architect for the applicant.
And Mr. Bayo, you've appeared before this board, correct? Or
I
I've
was
seen you
here
somewhere
last-
else.
I was here last month.
Oh, there you go. So there, yeah, well, if it's Tuesday, it must be Livingston. All right, so Mr. Bayo has been previously accepted very recently in the field of architecture, and I assume in the time since then, your license to practice in the field of architecture, state of New Jersey, is up to date?
It is.
Okay, Chairman?
Does anyone on the board have any questions or objections regarding this witness? There being no objection, the witness is accepted as expert in architecture.
Okay, thank you, board. So before you is an application that on its face would seem gross. It's over on habitable floor area, over on habitable floor percentage, and the question is, what can I possibly say that would mitigate those very strong points? Figuring this out. The existing house was built, I think, in the 70s, maybe even early 80s. It was the former residence of the Calundra bakery people, and the parents have died, and the estate sold the home, and Miss Azma Shah and her husband Faizan purchased it. When I went into the house, it's massive. It's not massive just because of its footprint is massive. It actually, that whole attic that is under this roof line is all walkable. So on my cover sheet, I have these two diagrams on cover sheet C1. On mine, I highlighted it. It doesn't need to be highlighted. The upper diagram illustrates my surveying of the house, of the areas, of the attic, with ceiling heights greater than 6'6". And we have illustrated that right here. On the lower document, I have illustrated the second floor areas with an improved ceiling height of, 8 foot, and that is on the bottom right. The existing areas that are 6'6" up there total 2,935 square feet. The actual expansion that we're making is 81 square feet. And it comes about by eliminating some of the areas back in here in the rear of the home and adding some of the areas along the side of the house as we change the shape of the roof. So the real plan is, how do I convert this Pizza Hut into a more modern home? Now, that's where all these variances come from. We have a house that's 81 square feet smaller than I'm coming to this board for. So while we are grossly over, and I'll repeat the numbers for the record, we are seeking a habitable floor area of 7699, where 6,200 is permitted, R1. So a variance of 1,499, of which 1,400 and whatever 81 from that number is, 18 exist today, because of the fact that you can walk under this entire element. I really believe that if you grant this variance, oh, and we have a small variance for a side yard setback, which occurs at the right corner where 15 feet is required, and for a very small amount of inches, we have 14.9. The house sits slightly askew to the property line, and it produces a small variance that exists today, and that is 0.1 of a foot. Now, aside from that variance, the other two attributable entirely to the area. So I listened earlier attentively, and I heard someone quote the 2018 master plan and how these improvements would be better given the de minimis variance request. Because the variance request on its face is grossly large, And I just testified that it's really not. We're only really adding about 81 square feet on that floor. In addition to the 81, we're adding about 20 square feet as I pull the front door toward the front a little bit, just to produce a better edifice. The idea is to bring this beautiful established Calandra home into the 21st century by introducing metal standing seam roof, very large panels of glass, still a sloped roof, no flat roofs, and a little bit of this brickwork that exists here would come up and form into this dormer on two sides. This gives them enough square footage. I take the ceiling heights up from 6'6" to 8 foot. And the only thing that really takes place is a enlarging of the left and the right wings, because the center wing is not going to change in height, just the left and the right wings. And we introduce a much more modern application of a home renovation to the home. That's my presentation.
Does anyone on the board have any questions for this witness?
I do. So, slightly confused, to be honest with you. The second floor is 6'6" in height, so it is.
The two wings are.
The two wings.
The center part is like 12 feet.
Today, they're just open space. They're not habitable. They're not habitated in bedrooms or something like that.
Correct. According to the ordinance, if you have a walk-up stair and you have areas created up there that have a certain height, they attribute toward the habitable floor area of the house. She bought the house. I walked in it. I'm like, well, we can finish this, but who would want to live this way? I said, we're going to have to go for variances. Why? Well, because even though we're going from 6'6" to 8 feet and, you know, some betterment there, that changes the volumetric configuration of this house, and it's way over on habitable floor area, and anything we do, if we want to pull out the foyer, we're going to be here before the board. So the two variances that are there, habitable floor area ratio and habitable floor area, the hard number, don't change much, but they change enough for me to testify that we need those two variances. And I don't think that there's a negative impact from it, because the roof lines will be vastly improved, a little bit taller on the right and left side. We're far enough from neighbors' houses where I don't think that in the R1 that they're going to necessarily shade someone's growing tomatoes or something like that. But it does vastly improve the streetscape with a more modern home. They are willing to put this money into it. They live in Short Hills today, are willing to move over to Livingston. I think it's a positive thing.
I got a question. Okay, just so I also understand, just what you have on the plan here under the habitable floor area ratio, where you show second floor and 2,935 square feet, is that all this attic area that's 6 feet tall that's not usable today? Is that what we're, the 6.5 feet attic area?
No, some of it, actually, a good part of that middle part is way over like 12 feet tall in there. It's very tall. The center part is currently finished. It's probably makes the house close to 6,500. If you look at the current living area between the first floor and here, we're going to finish out some of these wings and change the roof line. That square footage must be calculated according to the ordinance in the HFR habitable floor area and habitable floor area ratio.
No, I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out, so you're saying today, as far as, normal habitable space, not, I understand the other part's got to be included. But as far as, if you excluded the left wing and the right wing attic area that's over 6.5 feet tall, you're saying that you have about 6,500, 6,800 square feet of...
Yeah, maybe even less than that, but it's a little over 62. I met with Michelle on this because this was a challenge. How do we do this? Because I mean, we own it already. Can I just raise the roof? And we went back and forth, but that's why we're here. We're here because I agree. It's a variance. We're extending, intensifying, densifying, expanding the roof height.
No, I get that. I guess what I'm, like right now at 65, you're slightly over, right? Like what would be allowed, and I understand the lot's slightly bigger than the zone, but this isn't really a case of this was a usable second floor, and now we're just gonna change that second floor, and we already have technically, 7,500 and whatever square feet of space that was being used today as livable space, and I understand it's included as habitable, but in reality, it's an attic. So, you know,
Yes.
because now what you're asking for is a huge sum to add on when it's not, and it's not just a, you know, you're taking the existing house and now you're like, oh, we'll just pop a couple windows on it. You're also raising the left and right side up and massing that house up so it's much higher and much builder, so it's gonna look like a 7,000 something square foot house and not a 6,500 square foot house, and no change, you know, it's gonna be a big change.
100%. I agree with your statement.
I agree with Mr. Sherman, and I have a question, follow-up question. So the attic space for now is usable. It's not habitable.
The whole center part of the attic space is usable.
Yeah,
yes.
and then you're trying to make it habitable by raising the floor, the ceiling.
Yeah, 6'6" is an unacceptable.
But the size of the lot, it right now is only 7% more than a standard R1 lot, and you're asking for 20% more. So why, I don't see, the math doesn't match in my mind. Why in this lot, you know, you need that much extra? You know, I understand, right now, the 6-foot attic is walkable, usable, but it's not a habitable right now. You don't-
Correct.
Yeah, but by changing everything into habitable, it's gonna be, you know, overly, over that, you know, standard lot allowed. So that's, I just don't see how.
Yeah, it's a big ask,
the
right?
reason is there.
She's trying to, so Ozma's trying to move to town in order to have her parents and her 20-year-old kids live in it. So it's somewhat of a compound-ish element. They need you know, they're not finishing a lot of they're not putting the kids in the basement. And there's not enough room on the first floor and the second floor currently to habitate what would be 7 to 8 people. So there's a few bedrooms that have to take place up there, and that's the big ask. So it's a personal need.
First floor is that my father-in-law, who needs an aide with him, would inhabit. It has 3 bedrooms right now. So one we are trying to convert into a suite, which is for him, and the adjacent bedroom would be for an aide. So that does not leave any master bedroom spaces for us. There are 2 smaller rooms upstairs, which would then go to the boys, and hence we need that space to create our own master bedroom, because that does not leave any other space for us.
Yeah, right now, I'm pointing to my floor plan A4. So right now, the whole center section is built out. That's what's there. You've got a couple of bedrooms, good-sized bedrooms. What they're trying to do is produce their master bedroom on this floor, along with, for the children, their wings. So they would get that. You have 3, right? Yeah. So 1, 2, 3. So that's why it's becoming, that's their need. We can't finish these 2 side wings. It counts toward the FAR. We can't finish it. And the only mitigating factor here is you get a brand-new looking home, which vastly improves the streetscape. This home sat for a little bit. If anyone bought it, this house needs a lot of improvements. They are willing to do it, and I'm suggesting that is a strong mitigating factor. While it does get a little bulkier, it doesn't adversely impact the neighbors. It would improve the streetscape. It would introduce a sense of modernity to a 70s, 80s home that has this mansard roof. It's flat mostly and does leak. And so that's the ask.
I have a statement. Okay.
This is really question time.
Okay, I have a question. Thank you so much for your presentation, and I appreciate the fact that you have made this more modern, that you are trying to make it fit into the neighborhood. Aesthetically, it definitely is an improvement. But I will say that what you are asking for, to me, is, it's a lot. And as my colleague pointed out, that the lot is 7% larger than the proposed, but you're asking for quite a bit more. And I see how you came to this conclusion by looking at the house and trying to sort of make it into a square. I get it. But I'm just wondering, And again, we are not designers, and my intention is not to design, but I wonder if there are other ways of looking at this house rather than coming to the board with a 7,700 square foot home.
Oh, I'm sure there are, and I'm sure that we could address your point, and your point. I think it's a big ask. I can only argue the argument I made. If we can hear more comments, I certainly would then chat with my client, and if we have to, because on its face, it's a gross ask. I totally get it. From a numerical standpoint, it's not much of an ask at 81 square feet, but it's what you said. It's the conversion of attic to living space, and that's the trigger, and I get it. Thank you for your comments.
Does anybody else have any questions for this?
I just would want to say that I concur with all my colleagues here. 8% over an R1 standard site, and right now we are at 24% variance request,
Yeah.
which on the face of it looks very unreasonable to me. Thanks.
So, okay.
Sorry, and I would just add, it's similar, but it's somewhat of a question, because this is always a tricky thing for me when you're dealing with R1, because everything else has limits. There's always another place in town if you want to get a bigger place, but R1, you can't go any bigger. So the town has decided to limit, to put this 6,200 up. Why is there any limit? This is our biggest section with biggest lots. So they put a limit on for some reason, right? So, and you mentioned the master plan and it being a compound. So it's somewhat of a question. I don't know the exact answer. I wasn't in the minds of the town council, but I think that they put a limit for some reason. And when you use the word compound, I start to think maybe that's what the town doesn't want by ordinance, something that looks like a compound. So that's the fear I have. And I say it as a question because maybe, if you have a different opinion of it, that maybe a compound would be a good thing for overall to have, for the town should have, and we should be granting those things. I don't know. So that's why I'm putting it in a question, and the concern that I have with respect in general to R1 type cases where people are seeking more, which comes before us from time to time.
I have a very strong opinion in this. I was at the 2009 council hearings. I testified, and I can tell you a little bit of what I think the mindset was back then. You had the era of McMansions, you had the era of housing collapse, and you had a township committee that was concerned about unaffordability in Livingston, that houses are getting bigger and bigger, becoming unaffordable. I grew up in New Jersey. Livingston was always a rich town. They could say what they want. I disagree with it. Every town should have a representative element for every class. So poor people and rich people have equal rights to have a habitation and an abode in a community. I personally don't think 7,800 is grossly oversized. We have a lot of them. It's unfortunate that Livingston has a 6,200 square foot, 2-car garage cap. So our oversized 3-car garage is in these. Yeah, that's in my FAR numbers. Because the moment you go over 450 square feet, your illustrious committee in 2009 said, this is how we're going to, make it right, make it good for lesser available people to live in this town. Completely disenfranchising a class of people who, frankly, should be entitled to live here. I mean, it was always that when I was growing up. I didn't look at Livingston actually, it's a very diverse town. It has entry-level housing, mid-level housing, and some rich people. I don't know, I'm not meaning to disparage you, it's not a bad term. 7,800's a lot.
I really like that about Livingston.
Oh, you like?
Well, okay, so
actually
let
really
me bring this in for a landing, because I think we're having an esoteric discussion about why the council made limitations. Their limitations are in place, and, obviously, you're asking for the variance from it. So, that being the case, I think before I ask you the question about whether or not you want to speak to your client for a second, I think it would be appropriate, Chairman, that if there's any questions from the public before.
Let's go that way. That's a good idea. Is there anybody in the public? Yeah, please come forward. You looked a little eager there. How are you?
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Jian Yu, and I live right next to the property we're discussing.
On the right or left?
On the right side.
On the right side,
Yeah,
as seen from the street.
number one, when built.
Sir, can you just do us the favor, just state and spell your name?
Sure,
Really
sure. My name is Jian Yi, Jian, last name Y-E. So.
We're okay with that, Ms. Hollis? You got it? Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry, sir, thank you.
So a question, maybe just want you to confirm. So the first minor violation is about the setback of the side yard is just a 0.1 feet. That's the pre-existing, right?
It's existing, yes.
Okay, right, I just want to confirm this.
Okay.
Oh, that's.
You can ask more questions
Take
if you
those all
want.
day.
So, Mr. Like Scott Baio. Yeah, Mr. Baio. I want to call you
He's
Scott.
my third cousin.
Yeah. So, Mr. Baio, do you want, based upon the commentary from the board, do you want a moment to talk with your client? Just got to hit the button there,
Or if
right?
you want to step out for a second, if that's better for you. Yeah, okay. I need to go back, right back. I'll be right back. On pause.
Yeah, I'll wait. That's insane. Last night in Milburn, they got through one. I was number 4 and number 3 and number 4. We were adjourned. One. It takes leadership just to move these things. He was there. Did you get heard last night? Last night at Milburn, did you get heard? No.
So, all right, take it easy. This usurpation by Ms. Khan. All right. So.
Back in session.
All right. Ms. Baio, you've had the opportunity to consult with your client. What's the update?
We intend to adjourn for this evening to take a next available date with the intent to downsize our application in a way that would be more constructive to a positive vote from the committee, from the board.
Okay, Mr. Baio, let me ask a question to Ms. Hollis in terms of the date that this could be relisted for. July 30th. Okay. So this matter will be adjourned to July 30. This is the notice of the new date. So if you're here for this matter, you will not get a new notice in the mail. There will not be a new notice on the website or in the newspaper or in any other fashion. Just know that you should keep an eye out for the agenda for July 30. Okay? I knew you were writing down notes. You're okay. All right, so thank you, Mr. Bayo, and thank you, Ms. Shaw. We'll have you come back on July 30.
Thank you. Thank you, Board.
Thank you.
Where you got to step off for this one? All right,
Just let you,
stay for the, okay,
for the
You're doing a great
record,
job.
I know what I'm doing. Ms. Khan will be recusing herself from this application. Thank you.
Block 3101, Lot 5, 11 Bunyan Drive, application number 2026-4-V, Ali and Dave Brunwasser. Applicant seeks approval for the first and second floor addition in violation of the following section: 17098C3, right side yard setback 10 feet required, 7.4 feet proposed, 2.6 feet variance requested. 17087BB3, habitable floor area 3520 square feet allowed, 4804 square feet proposed, 1288 square feet variance requested. 17087CC3, habitable floor area ratio 21% allowed, 27.32% proposed, 6.32% variance requested.
Okay, so you're the homeowners, so I'm Ally and Dave Brunwasser. Okay. And just hit the, there you go. Okay, and you have, I'm guessing, two professionals tonight. You have your architect, and you have Mr. Doherty as your professional planner? No. Oh, you're just here for muscle. Okay. Okay. All right. Take copious notes, Alex. Okay. So let's when our architect has figured out his easel, we'll be able to swear him in.
I could start with the quick opening. if
Okay,
that's
why don't we swear you in, Dave? Do you swear for and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
Okay, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
David Brunwasser, Brunwasser.
Good, Mr. Brunwasser.
Thank you. So I'm Dave Brunwasser. This is my wife, Allie. We're here going on 7 years now. We love living here. Our kids love growing up here. And we intend to be here, for the foreseeable future, if not the rest of our lives, which I think the work that we're doing indicates. But as our kids are getting older, we have a 6 and a 4-year-old, Jake and Madison, as they're getting older, to accommodate the needs of, all the room that we need to add, as well as to accommodate myself and my wife, who both work from home. Because we don't have a basement, we feel that this work is necessary for us to accommodate our lifestyle. So I'll let Tim, our architect, take it from there, but I appreciate you considering our case.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, so why don't we swear in? Do you swear for and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
I do.
Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
It's Timothy Klesse, Klesse.
All right, and why don't we have your qualifications on briefly as an architect?
I'm a licensed architect in New York and New Jersey, and my office is in Short Hills. We've been in Short Hills for, about 30 years or so. And I've presented in front of this board and, maybe 50 boards across the nation, really, in reference to variance work and historic preservation work, really.
And your license to practice architecture in the state of New Jersey is current, correct?
Yes.
And I'm going to beat the chairman to it. Can you please give us briefly your educational background?
I have a degree in architecture from New Jersey Institute of Technology and a degree in interior design from NYU.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have any questions or objections regarding this witness? There being no objections,
Thank you.
the witness is accepted as a expert in architecture, and I believe, just for the record, Mr. Weissman, you'll be voting? Yes, okay.
Okay, the site's 11 Bunyan. It's an R3. The lot area is 17,599. It's really a colonial revival built around 2019. My client bought the house when it was newly constructed, right? I guess so. Like a builder was in the process of building it, and they bought it at the end of the build. I think, 75% complete, I'll say. And they've lived there since then. The house has no basement. And just so everyone knows, to start this off, the basement would be about 1,500 square feet. Okay? That would be the basement for this size house. In this case, there is no basement. There is an existing attic. That existing attic is about 650 square feet. And that's the number that the existing house is over by, that 650. Our plan tonight is to add a additional garage to the right side of the building with an office space above. And we really need the office space because both of them work from home and they have these little kids and they need a place where they can actually work. We have no basement to be able to use for this, right? The attic actually serves as a basement in some ways for us. The gym is up there and there's a playroom for the kids. So we really need this additional space so that we can kind of allow them to live and stay in the house. So the way we propose to do it is to build this building onto the right side, right? It's approximately 12 feet wide outside and 30 feet long, right? It has a 20-foot garage and a 10-foot storage area behind. And then above that is 2 offices with a closet. And I'd like to show you the plans, which I guess I want you to go. Trying. Yeah, thank God I could figure it out. If you look at my BOA 1 sheet. Oh. It's coming. I did it. If you look at my BOA 1 sheet, which is exactly the same as yours, the addition is on the right side here, and you can see that our first floor is set back about 2.5 feet off the front face of the building, and our second floor is pushed back a little further than that to give us a little bit relief so that we could get a roof in the middle. And then our property line on the right side is coming down this way. It's required to be 10 feet, so we have a side yard setback that's a sort of a sliver on this garage that starts at about 2.5 feet at the front and tapers back to nothing. And I'll show it to you more on the blow-up of the first floor. If you look at the zoning itself, you can see that the attic is accounted for in the zoning at that 650 square feet, right? That's what I'm saying. If that was a basement, it would be about 1,500 square feet. This building itself has a footprint, of about 2,000 square feet, and there's about a 500 square foot garage, right? So the basement is really, in a normal house, this would have a 1,500 square foot basement. Then I'm just going to go to my next sheet, which I'm not sure. I guess I can figure it out. Yeah, I can do it. I go to my first floor, and you can see that what we've done is we've added this garage onto the right side. And you can see the 50-foot line coming across, the 10-foot setback on the left. We have a lot of room. There's no failure in this site for side combined, which is a little bit surprising, especially on a pie-shaped lot. And you can see the setback line for the 10 feet that's coming through the side of my garage right there on the right side. It starts in the front here of about 2.5 feet, and by the time the garage is done is where it tapers back to nothing. And I think I said before that the garage was 30 feet long, but just looking at it, I can see it's not, and I can't read that number there. I don't know if anybody can see it. It looks like it's around 27 or something. Oh, no, it's 22 and 6. It's about, well, it's about 28 feet, the total depth. If I go to my next sheet, all right, the existing second floor, right, and what we did is we just added our new room, added a closet, or an office in the front, an office in the back, and made a closet for his closet, because this is actually her closet. Here's the stairway that's going up to the third floor, which makes my area on the third floor be counted into the FAR. The elevations of the building, you can see the primary facade of the building. The secondary facade is here where the garage is existing, and then we added a third element here where we pushed back even further, and then added that skirt roof, just like the rest of this building did, to lower its mass. And we brought our building in at the top underneath the ridge of the other building so that it would scale down. You can see it on the right side, our addition with the two other buildings down the road. This building is about 32 foot high, and the ordinance would allow me to be 35. It's not overbearing on the street. It's really 3 feet under the allowable height. And there's no change that we're making tonight for the third floor. That's my rear elevation, and here you can see the attic. The attic is measured from that, 6'6" area, which is really running all through this line that we have there. That's where the 650 square feet came from. All right, that's about it for that. I think I just take you through a couple of other things off of the zoning, and then I'm going to pass it over to the planner. The request for the right side is 7.4 feet. That's at that triangular area for the right side garage. I think the planner will testify that the house to the right is relatively distant from the property line. The rear yard setback is required to be 40 feet, and it's actually at 61 feet with the proposed addition. It's, so we're not encroaching into the rear yard in any way at all. The only issue that we really have is the side yard and the 2 floor area variances, right? And I'm saying that the attic is 650 square feet. The first floor of our addition is 360. The second floor is 312. It's a total of 1,322 square feet, whereas if we had the basement would be 1,500 square feet, which we wouldn't have to count. And in this case, we tried to add this bulk in such a way to minimize its impact onto the neighborhood. Are there any questions or comments? And then you can always come back to me and we can go to the planner if you want.
Oh, don't worry, we will, we need to.
Peter was
Yeah.
first.
Peter,
I
go ahead.
I just want to understand the history here, how it wound up that your existing is already 500 square feet over what's allowed. Could you give us a little bit of background on that?
I really don't know the answer to that. I think maybe my client may know better.
I'm not sure. Hello, can you hear me? Okay,
We
I'm
have
not
to
sure.
swear- We have to swear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you
sorry.
swear firm to tell the truth before this planning, zoning board tonight?
I do.
Okay. And you're Ally?
I'm Allie Brunwasser. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Go ahead. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm not sure if this answers your question completely or if I misunderstood, but when our house was being built, the attic space was not included in floor area. Is that correct terminology?
Yeah, that's,
So it wasn't over at that time. Is that what you're asking?
I think maybe that question can be better answered, or I'm hoping it's going to be better answered by the planning testimony, that they'll catch that somehow. I think they're making copious notes over there.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I do. I see the minimum lot width, you said is 100 feet, but in the survey it says 87?
The minimum lot width is measured at the face of the building. So I don't know. You say
Your survey has 87.
at
right?
the street?
Yeah,
Yeah, it may be true.
but your
I gotta
table,
find
your
it.
table is showing, you marked it down as 100 feet.
It's probably 100 at the face of the building, because lot width is measured at the face of the building.
So the face,
It's a
not at the-
pie-shaped lot.
Right, but the minimum, so you're saying minimum, right? So if you have minimum, you got to capture the minimum.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Perimeter of
I
the
don't know.
lot.
That would be really up to the,
Over here. Oh, okay.
the narrower lot width would actually be helpful from a zoning standpoint, because it would give me a smaller side combined.
Just one question, just on so the attic that's there now, is it not finished? I mean, it looks like there's a bathroom there. I mean,
No.
is it?
It's finished. We use it as our small little playroom for our kids.
Okay. Do you know how tall it is in the?
At the maximum, I believe it's 9 feet, and then it's kind of like T-shaped, so even my kids can hit the ceiling at some points.
Okay.
I can kind of show it to you. It's on that, I think it's on the last sheet. That area where the line is running around the plan is the area that's at 6'6", and that is that 650 square feet. Do you just,
Yeah, you have the area on the left and on the right, that area where it's a usable height, right? Yeah. And then there's a bathroom up there as well, if I read this correctly. Do you see this?
Does anybody else on the board have any questions? Does anybody in the public have any questions for this witness? Come on up.
My name is Jack Kahn. I live at 8 Balmoral Drive, directly behind the applicant's home. My question is about the basement. We've lived in the home, I've lived there for the last 30 years, and when that house was being built and I would walk the neighborhood, I saw what I thought was a basement under the existing house and a remaining basement when the house was being built. So I'm curious as to whether or not, was it filled in and is not used? I even remember seeing maybe an egress window or a door in the back, and when the house was being built, people coming in and out of that door.
We have a crawl space. We do have a crawl space, but I think she can elaborate.
Okay.
Okay. We do have a crawl space, but I think my wife can elaborate on why there was no basement built this time around.
Yeah, so it's just a crawl space, so you can, I guess, like, catch mice under there kind of thing. But when we bought the house from our builder, she specifically told us that she didn't want to build out a basement because she said there was a lot of water and flooding. And I'm not sure if you remember, but we did a lot of work to get rid of a lot of the water in our backyard.
And we have it too.
Yeah. So that's why she didn't build out a basement. So we do not have a basement.
So but it's just an empty space?
You can't get there from the house.
Oh, okay.
So through the backyard, there is a half door that you can climb under the house.
Right.
But that's about it.
Okay.
How tall is it?
No, you can't stand in it. It's literally a crawl space.
Like 3
3
feet?
feet, 4 feet?
Probably 4 feet.
That's enough to do maintenance or emergency repairs, probably.
Underneath the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Or get the mice.
Or get the mice. We store some tiling in there
Yeah.
that we'll probably never use.
Store some mulch, we put the covers for our outdoor furniture. Yeah, that's the extent of it.
That's my only question.
Okay, great, thank you. Any other questions? Come on up. It's an open mic tonight.
I'm Bob Russo. I live at 10 Balmoral Drive. I lived in that neighborhood for probably about over 40 years. So I know the neighborhood very well and everything else. I guess my question is, you're currently at a little over 4,000 square feet in that house? Is that correct? Yeah. And.
Yes.
One second. If you're going to talk, you got to.
With the attic, yes, we're over 4,000 feet, I
Yes.
believe.
Yes.
So that neighborhood, on average, obviously there's been some rebuilds, knockdown rebuilds. On average, that the homes in that area are about 2,000 square feet. So your house currently today is double the size of most of the homes in the neighborhood. I'm finding it really hard to understand why you need a third garage, which there is no third garage whatsoever in the neighborhood, and why you need 2 more rooms, adding more square footage, when you've got double the square footage of the existing area. That's my hard part.
No, I totally appreciate that, and it's something we're asking for and hoping to accommodate, mostly because we do work from home every day. And just our kids maintain the upstairs where I guess we could be working, but we try to keep our distance from them when they're home.
And I get that, because I work from home
Yeah.
all my life.
Yeah.
I've never had an office. I always worked in sales, and I was on the road, but I always made it work,
Yeah.
right? I didn't have to put an addition onto a 2,000 square foot to find office space for me to work.
For sure.
And I guess that's my struggle, is that house is so big. I mean, it's the biggest in the area, and I can't see it getting any bigger. And I just think you really need to just kind of go back and maybe look at your square footage and your layout and try to work within the area you've got versus encroaching on your neighbor on your other side, which unfortunately he's not here, he's ill. So that's why he's not here and he can't speak, so I won't speak for him, but I know he would not be happy about that as well. So that's the only question I had.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I think maybe the planners can give us a little better testimony related to the neighborhood.
So
I'm talking to the planners.
All right,
I
so
think
what-
that they could probably help us there.
Okay.
Alex.
So we're now going to call up your professional planner?
Sure, thank you.
Okay. All right. We'll switch around.
That's them. They loaded that all for me. I didn't do anything. The blue one?
Take out the blue one? Yeah. Too many things. Here we go. Sorry, I'm a
Okay.
Help is on the way.
I'm little.
That guy, he's got you covered.
All right, why don't we swear you in? Do you swear for and tell the truth for this zoning board tonight?
I do.
All right, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Sure, my name is Tanya Marione, M-A-R-I-O-N-E.
All right, and Tanya, can you please give us briefly your qualifications?
Sure. I graduated the Blaustein School in 2005. Every time I say it, it sounds further and further away. But I have been a practicing planner for the last 22 years. My main primary job typically is working with cities, but I have been a licensed planner for at least 15 of those years. So my license is up to date, professional planning, and AICP as well. Oh, and I've testified before multiple zoning boards and planning boards. In fact, I got my start at the zoning board as a zoning board professional planner.
Thank you. Does anyone on the board have any questions or objections regarding this witness? There being no objections, the witness is accepted as expert in professional planning.
Great, thank you so much. So in preparation for tonight, I reviewed your zoning code, your master plan, the most recent one. I do have an exhibit, which was not a part of the package, so I don't know if you want it marked in addition.
Yeah, we'll mark it exhibit A1.
Sure, and it's 10 pages.
All right.
So
is there a handout of that, or is it? Okay, it's going. All right. So, but Ms. Hollis will get a copy of it. Okay. Okay. If not tonight. Okay. Just suggesting. All right. You know, we do have cell phones for a reason. All right. Go ahead. Thank you.
So this is not new, but we're before the board this evening seeking bulk variances to permit a modest residential addition to an existing single-family dwelling. The first slide before you pretty much is your zoning map, and the red circle is where the property is. You can see that it is in the R3. It's identified as Block 3101, Lot 5, also 11 Bunyan Drive. The property is less than a quarter mile away from the Livingston Police Department, which I believe we are right adjacent to now, and less than a tenth of a mile away from north of Collins Elementary School. So it's nestled, you can see clearly, in the R3, which is single-family zoning, but it's smaller lot size than the R1 and the R2, which are along the edges of Livingston. You can kind of see a little bit more up close where they are on Bunyan, which is between Bowling and Arlington. And you can see, you can see the cursor, right? Yep, the school is right over here. So this is the property of this is a photo of the property from head-on, from the ground. This is a slightly elevated aerial drone view of the property. And I am showing, so the applicant's property is on the right of this picture, which would be the gray roof. And the addition will be on the left of the property. So this is the survey that you saw earlier with the architect. The green represents the actual required setback line. This is the addition itself. And so you can see that the landscaping that's being added and the setback, and that only part of the addition is actually within the required setback. And this is what the addition looks like, illustrated image on the aerial. So I'm going to keep this photo up, and we'll go talk through some of these things. On the first floor, it's going to provide a true garage space and a dedicated storage area with access to the rear yard. And on the second floor of the addition, it's going to accommodate 2 home offices integrated into the primary suite. And this reflects, obviously, a very consistent ongoing trend for telecommuting and work from home. We need 3 variances for this. The first is the side yard variance. 7.74 is being proposed, 19 feet is currently existing, and 10 is required. We are asking for habitable floor area increasing from an existing 4,136 square feet to 4,808 square feet, where 3,520 is permitted. And habitable floor area ratio increasing from 23.5% to 27.3%, where 21% is permitted. As your counsel said earlier, I feel like now I was going to bring this up later, but we might as well talk about it because it essentially is an an existing nonconformity, and that is the floor area ratio for your attic. In my review of your ordinances, and this is what you are the professional of, is the Livingston zoning ordinances. It seemed like in 2023, there was some consideration to not exempting FAR and the attic space from the R4 zone. I don't know if that overlapped at some point where you were not considering attic as habitable square feet, because within your definition, I know this was something that was mentioned earlier in the application, the main thing that makes an attic is whether or not it's a pull down, like a Chevy Chase National Lampoon style attic, or it's a walk-up attic. And this is a walk-up attic, so it becomes something that is included into your floor area ratio. In your definition for floor area ratio, and why the architect was mentioning this earlier, is that you can have that 1,500 square foot basement, but it doesn't count into your floor area ratio. So I was not the planner. I did reach out to see if there was a previous zoning board application for the construction build in 2019. There was not. So we are reviewing this as an existing nonconformity. And my focus is in kind of the expansion of the existing nonconformity, but I will mostly be focusing on the additional 650 square feet from the addition. So, again, just to kind of get us back on the same page here, the addition is approximately 672 square feet and 3.8% increase. There are no other deviations other than the side yard. The minimum lot size requirement is 15,000. We have a lot size that's larger. It's 17,599. The lot is extra deep, very slightly, by 63 feet, where 150 is required. The existing building height is 32, so we're not exceeding that. And even though we are asking for a side yard variance, it is only for one side. You have a combined side yard variances, a combined side yard setback that is 30% of the lot width, which in this case is 30, and we are meeting that. Our combined side yards are 30, over 30, 31. With respect to the side yard, it's not an existing condition. It's really just more of a limited and well-designed area of relief that's associated with the proposed addition. Because the existing side yard is 24 on one side and 19 on the other side, it might make more sense to add the additional 19 feet onto the 24 side. However, the side that we're adding it onto, since we're adding a garage and an office, is to be adjacent and next to the existing garage and the existing primary suite, where is the logical space for you to walk through the bedrooms to the office and to continue on to connect the garage spaces. So it's really a matter of the function of the existing building and the existing layout as it is, that's the side that we need to add the addition to. The lot is also not a typical square lot. The right property line is a diagonal. It gets wider as further back as it goes, and not, as you saw before, not the entirety of the addition is excessive into the rear yard sideback requirement. Had the building had either been more centered on the lot or had the lot have been more slightly regular, we could have easily had met this requirement. And to further mitigate some of the negative impacts, the addition has been intentionally recessed from the front facade to reduce its visual prominence, and the applicant is also proposing vegetation, plantings, and screening to further enhance the privacy and maintain the enjoyment for both. And as you can see, there is a sufficient distance between where the addition will be our side yard lot line and the applicant and the neighbor's house next door, which does not have windows along that side. So there is also that element of privacy. I talk about the FAR, the D4. To the extent that the FAR relief is required, the applicant satisfies the standard articulated within the case law, Randolph Town Center versus Randolph Township, which focuses really on whether the site can accommodate the additional floor area, right? That's how we do FAR, is the addition that we are asking for, can the site accommodate it? When I talk about things like this, I usually refer to things like 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag, and there's red flags that you look for when you're looking at things like that, and I think in this instance, we're not seeing any of those. I think it's clearly that we can show you that the property is oversized, that our addition still maintains adequate open space, that it supports the improvement without the strain on any infrastructure or neighborhood character, and the additional floor area is used to improve function, not intensity, not excess, right? And as the board is aware, the FAR is really used to help regulate scale, size, and massing of structures. So the reality is that this is a modest 672 square foot addition that's in line with existing housing stock and character. The expansion is to add home office space, not increase the intensity of the use or structure. So we're not looking at extra bedrooms, right? And even to get to the home offices, you have to walk through the bedrooms to get there. So there is no ability for us to create even an extra bedroom. We've already spoken about this, is that the existing dwelling does not have a basement. I don't want to belabor the point, but again, right, that basement would give them the ability to have that up to 1,400 square feet of storage that, according to your zoning ordinance, would not be counted in the floor area ratio. That's not here in this case. It's also because that there is a flooding issue and that there is a high water table. So the ability to even dig down and to create that basement is not even a reality here, because then you'd be creating a situation where there would be flooding, as was evidenced by the owner, who said that there was even more water in the backyard. As a result, what's happening right now, because they don't have that storage, is that the 2 garage parking spaces that you see with the 1 garage door, half of it's being used for storage. So being able to provide this addition will actually now give us the ability to have the car space, to have the additional storage that they need, that they are not able to get right now, and they are not able to have, they're not able to have right now, right? So the proposal is actually really just a practical solution. The expansion is not excessive, and it's still able to meet all but 1 bulk standard that we addressed above. So the planning justification, boiling down to pretty much why we're here, right? The request relief can be supported under both a C1, a C2, and of course I previously addressed the D4, but we'll kind of just clear it up. The home is not centered on the lot. For C1, let's talk about the hardship criteria. It lacks a basement. It was constructed in a manner that now basically creates functional limitations on a family's ability to grow and to use that space as they need to. The absence of a basement, again, likely to the groundwater conditions, forces the applicant to seek that habitable floor area somewhere where similarly home situated may rely on the basement space. Additionally, the applicant has conservatively included the attic space in the habitable floor area. Again, we just spoke about the recent amendment. I'm not 100% sure, other than the fact that we're considering it at this point an existing nonconformity. So these conditions collectively establish a legitimate hardship tied to the property and the structure, not the applicant, right? So it's a hardship that is tied specifically to the structure and its inability to have the structure provide the storage and the garage functions and the home office. Negative criteria, the applicant be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without substantial detriment to your zone plan. The property remains a single home. The addition is modest, it's well-designed, it fits in with the neighborhood, it's buffered, there's adequate separation between the neighboring structures, and the additional landscape mitigates any kind of other potential impacts. Importantly, as I said before, the project does not intensify the use of the property. No additional bedrooms, no additional units. The parking conditions are actually being improved. Now we're going to be able to have full parking spaces because we will be able to use that parking space instead of using it as storage for children's toys, children's things, or whatever else that it is being used for now for storage. I'm going to kind of go through some of the neighborhoods so you can kind of see that we are actually fitting in pretty well with the surrounding neighborhood. There's a school that's very close nearby that I believe the applicant's son goes to. Son, right? Yeah. So these are what I would consider, going around the neighborhood, the kind of smaller homes in the area. From top left to right, we've got 11 Bowling, 14 Bowling, 9 Bunyan, which is adjacent to this property, and 8 Arlington. And these are some of the larger houses in this area that, again, all of these are within 1 block radius. They are all within the R3 zone. Again, same, should go top left to right, 17 Arlington, 6 Bowling, 16 Bowling, and 6 Arlington. And I think you can see that the proposed scale and massing that we are proposing is well within either between this, and there's pretty consistent character in this neighborhood to have a transitional type of basically housing, right? So some of that are smaller, but I think probably still have a pretty large floor area, and some of them that are much larger and meeting that kind of transitional need for housing for the types of families that are moving in and the needs that are there, the modern kind of needs for storage and for working at home. The proposal is consistent with your township's 2018 master plan, which really emphasizes the preservation of the residential character, the improvement of the quality of life, and the enhancement of the neighborhood. The application supports reinvestment into the existing housing stock and maintains the neighborhood character. This just for addition, the C2, which is the benefits outweighing the detriments, I think can also be applied here, right? It improves the functionality of the home without changing the character. It, again, doesn't add the intensity, and it modernizes the home to meet the contemporary living standards. While the proposed office can never be used as a bedroom, should the applicant move, it could also then be converted to something that is just flex space, right? So it could be walk-in closets, a nursery, a workout space, continued office space for future homeowners. The project enhances the property visually. It contributes positively to the neighborhood streetscape. I believe it meets the purposes of the MLUL. A, promoting the general welfare. C, adequate light and air, as shown from the setbacks. Appropriate density, this is single family zoning. Desirable visual environments. I think the architect did a great job with the addition that it matches the existing building as is, and it really kind of also matches the character, the architecture for the neighborhood surrounding it. It's a more efficient use of land. So in conclusion, with the C1, the C2, and the D4 standards, it's a modest, well-designed improvement that enhances the functionality of an existing home while preserving the character of the neighborhood. The relief is actually limited. We believe that it is justified and well thought out, and it is also appropriately mitigated. At its core, the application reflects a young, loving, growing family seeking to remain in the community. They're investing in their home, they're adapting to modern living conditions and strengthening their roots in Livingston. From a planning perspective, this is precisely the type of reinvestment that supports stable neighborhoods and reinforces the long-term viability of the community. So it is, for all of these reasons, it is my professional opinion that the relief can be granted and that the approval is warranted.
Thank you. Does anyone on the board have any questions for this witness?
Yeah, comment followed by a question. So the lot area is 17% more than the standard R3 lot. The existing habitable floor area, 4,136, is actually exactly 17% more than allowed habitable floor area for this property. And now you are requesting a variance for another 1288 square footage, which brings the overall variance to almost like 36% of the allowed, 36% more than allowed. And the hardship you have claimed for habitable floor area is the lack of a basement. My question is it across that neighborhood that none of the homes have basements? Or maybe, I don't know if it's an appropriate question, which the board attorney can weigh in as well, but is it a true hardship that you cannot have basement in that neighborhood, and hence, all the properties in that neighborhood should have an additional 1,500 square feet to make up for a lack of a basement? Is kind of a predicament I have, so I don't know who can answer that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I may, it sounds like it's an established circumstance, that there is groundwater, there was flooding, there was flooding in their backyard, and even the neighbor that just came up to testify said that there was also flooding. It sounds like there may have been an existing basement, and the builder realized that that was an actual real issue, which does make it a hard C1 hardship, not just kind of an excess or some kind of greed just to get more square footage. This is a legitimate hardship in this area.
And I can just add that, while I can't speak for every home in the area, her brother, my brother-in-law, and a friend of ours who both live in our area have basements and have both had flooding, pretty serious flooding, to the extent that they had to pay a pretty substantial amount to get it fixed and you know, get the water out, you know, renovate it back to where it was before. So we have seen from experience other people in the area that we know who have dealt with some serious flooding issues. So whether or not all the new homes that are coming up are following suit the way that we did, I can't say, but I would venture to guess that a lot of them would take that into consideration.
Lastly, I'll just say a lot of the houses that are already there that have not gone through renovations are bi-levels and do not have basements.
I have a question. This is a neighborhood that I walk on a daily basis, and looking at the house as it now, it's already on par with some of the big houses, in my opinion. And the planner mentioned about the site accommodation. Can you please go back to that other picture where, no, the two houses, one with your house, one with the left side with the, no, one more yes. So the proposed design pushed into the house on the left, and then you're asking for variation because it's within the 10-foot side yard setback. And in there, how would you say that it's the side accommodation is still there, because you have to push into that 10-foot envelope. And for now, the house itself for now is already massive, in my opinion. And by adding another strip of 12 feet, it's going to be even more. It's like it occupies a whole lot to me.
So if I may, I don't have the floor plans up, but the addition is really just the 11 and a half. Anything tighter, smaller, now we're really impacting our ability to get the car in there. Most, I think, spaces that are, we're looking at least 12 feet, open the door and kind of get around as well. The difficulty here, and I'm sure that they would much prefer to have a project that's completely as of right and put the addition into the 24-foot side yard setback. But where the actual addition that needs to happen is, it does need to be an addition to the garage and addition to the suite. So in order for them to even kind of have an accommodating side yard, they'd have to completely rearrange the layout of their house.
And to follow up about the site accommodation, this is an R3 lot, a R3 zone, but 4,800 square feet is at the top of the R2 allowed square footage of R2 zone. Again, the site accommodation remains as a question for me.
I think it's a little interesting, I guess, for the zoning ordinances. To me, it's a little conflicting that you wouldn't have FAR in a basement. If you could have a 1,400 square foot basement, there's actually probably more chance of somebody fitting out their basement and putting a kid in there. Not that I've done that. But it's more likely. But your ordinance doesn't take that into consideration. That can be almost double of what we're looking at right now. So I think we're looking at two things, right? Is that there's a little bit of a conflict within your ordinance, but there's also the hardship of the fact that this is an existing structure. And so they've got to kind of build off and provide the needs that they are for their family within the structure that they have. And this is, I think, the easiest, most modest way to actually do those things. Again, it's really just the addition of the car and the 2 home offices. I'm sure if they had a 1,400 square foot basement, they'd be more than able to do all of the things that they need in order to accommodate their basically their lives.
But since you don't have a basement, but you already have a full attic though, right? Livable attic? Is that correct?
Yes, we have an attic that's half the size of what a basement would be, yes.
Okay, but still, you have some attics, some
Yep.
space there, okay?
Yep, we do.
2 questions. Are you going to give any testimony on the impervious coverage? Obviously, you're increasing the impervious coverage. So is this going to improve, or do you have remedies in place to, I know I'm going to get cut off, but I just want to know, weighing the benefits.
It's not a variance.
No, but weighing the benefits that is this a benefit or a detriment that, right? Isn't that relevant? In terms of stormwater management, is this going to be a benefit or negative?
Not necessarily for something like this. Obviously, it's a newer, first of all, it's already a newer home. It's not a home that was built, before, 1980s and that time when they just used to throw, used to just put the gutters wherever and downspouts wherever they pleased. So it's already a newer home, and so that's number one. And there's not a variance for the increase in the impervious coverage. So
I'm just trying to assess the neighborhood if there's more flooding. So I haven't heard any. I'm asking because I haven't heard any testimony. Because I heard neighbors complaining about flooding, and I'm just going to make an assumption that there's going to be, this will, if anything, increase the flooding unless there's some management system. I don't know if you want to answer.
No, I'm not sure that, they're not really, the area they're adding to looks like it's already disturbed by some, this outdoor.
Yeah, we have the air conditioning units.
Air conditioning units.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
So it's already partially, it's not untouched property, so.
And I think it has to be over 300 square feet anyway for it to actually need any mitigation, so it's.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, so.
Withdrawn. Okay, go.
No, the only other thing I was going to say, because I know you brought up, how this house, could have the, with the ordinances in the past and now they have this attic that's counted. Just more as a statement, yes, it used to be that if you built this house and you built the attic structure and didn't put the steps in, and you then closed that permit, and then you came in the next day and pulled out a permit because it was existing space, not changing the outside, you then could convert it to interior space and it didn't count. But we did away with that, and that has been eliminated for that very reason, because that's what everybody would seem to do. So that's why that was the case, and of what probably transpired in this situation. But yes, I mean, because it's finished, it would count as space, and as my colleague said, I mean, could you get 1,500 square feet in a basement? Maybe. I mean, not everybody has a full basement, and then all the utilities and everything that you'd have down there, you wouldn't get the 1,500 square feet of space either. So, the other thing you mentioned about the garage is, even if one garage is used, you still could have built the thing on the side within the 10 feet and use that as a storage, and then use the actual 2 cars as the 2-car garage. So, to me, it doesn't fly either for that reason.
For the side yard setback.
Yes.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I'll chime in that I don't see Well, let me back up. I do think the house is kind of a full-size house to begin with, but we're trying to make it bigger, and then we're exacerbating some of the build-out by, as my colleague said, showing a car. We could maybe only have a storage area, you could still have something above, but also going to the garage, the basement, there's nothing under the cars, right? So that whole area is gone, 450 or whatever it is, 500, 600 square feet, and you do have the attic. So I am troubled with at least part of this. I'm just not sure exactly where I stand. I'd like to hear from other members of the board.
We're in comments now, not questions.
Well, you should open it to the public.
Okay, okay. Anybody in the public have any questions for this witness? Come on up. You can have two if you want. Same price.
Again, I'm Jack Kahn, 8 Balmoral Drive. I just want to understand, you mentioned the non-conforming use. So that is the finished attic, is that the non-conforming use?
That's how essentially I'm treating it, as not non-conforming use, but an existing non-conformity.
So it is a relatively new home, and there were no approvals for that livable space. And does that count as a hardship then? That's my question to you. I thought you mentioned that was a hardship.
The thing is I don't know what the permits were. I looked into it and I wasn't able to find anything. I don't know if it was signed off on it. In order for me to actually say those things, I would need to see a permit that showed exactly what this is. But I do know there's a CO for what's existing today, and so they're allowed to legally rely on the permits that they have.
Okay, but you did refer to that as a hardship?
Yes.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, do you want to? Oh, you were looking at, no, it's as if your cohort over there wanted to ask a question. Okay, does anybody else want to chime in a little bit? I think, Mr. Horn?
Comments?
Well, the public should have the opportunity to make comments, and then the board can have the opportunity to make comments.
Okay.
Well, but yeah.
All right, come on up. Come on up. Yeah.
So again, I'm going to call myself Bob Russo, 10 Balmoral Drive.
Mr. Russo, I just have to swear you in for giving comments. Do you swear for and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
Sure do.
Go ahead, Mr. Russo.
I'm going to call myself the resident expert, since I've been living in that Collins Estate area probably combined for 50 years. I first moved into the area in 1963, so I'm very familiar with all the homes whatsoever. There basically were 3 types of homes that were built. There were bi-levels, which are built on slabs, no basements, and then there are 2 other types, basically split-type homes. Some of them were called dipsy doodles, and the other ones were traditional splits, right? All of those type of homes have basements. So there's probably 75% of the surrounding neighborhood are the splits and the dipsies, and the other are the bi-levels. I live basically behind the applicant, and we have no water problem whatsoever. Does it rain and water flow down your side yard? Yeah, sure. But it doesn't happen too often, except when you get excessive storms. So I'm struggling a little bit with, the comments that are being made that it's a flooded area. It's not a flooded area. I just struggle with the one, and if you could just do me a favor, because I do like the picture, if you could just, write that one right there. To me, it is so oversized. That house is directly behind me, so that gives you an idea of where Balmoral is. I sit right behind Ken, and then so I'm kind of catty corner to that house, and that's basically the size of my house. That is your traditional bi-level. I have a bi-level as well. So, and then Mr. Khan, he lives right next to me, and he's got the split. He has a full-size basement as well. So that area is, basically those type of homes. I struggle. I really do. I have to look at that every day, and it's kind of, you know, we made do basically with the size of the homes that we had. I understand you got children, I understand you say well, they got the attic, oh, they got the garage, they're 2 kids. I mean, there's ways to, I grew up with 5 kids in my home, and we made do. We had a 2-car garage, and you shift things around so the 2 cars could go in. So I just feel that this is like a little over the top. So that's all I gotta say.
With all due respect, everybody has different needs, and so we have different needs.
Sir, there's no, there's
I'm
no.
just saying, we all have different needs, that's all.
Yeah, so there's no back and forth. It's not, we're gonna see if there's any more public comment, and then we'll take it from there. I saw the hand up over there, Alex. All
Again,
right, so
Jack
Mr.
Khan,
we gotta swear.
8 Balmoral.
Do you swear for and tell the truth for the zoning board tonight?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, Mr. Khan.
Just to conclude, I do object to the application. I think that adding a 3rd garage bay and a 2nd-floor office space to an already large home, and a home that is larger than most of the homes around it, is overbuilding. It's too much, in my opinion, it's too much house for that lot that is only 87 feet wide at the front. I think it's out of proportion to the other homes. Most of the other homes, there are a few larger homes now in the area, but most are not. I think it's out of proportion and out of character to this neighborhood, and for those reasons, I think it should be denied. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we go to board comments, Ms. Doherty, did you want to talk to your client?
I would ask before we go to the board if we could take 5. I think we hear the concerns of the board, and I'd like to have a moment to talk with the applicant and, see if we can come to some resolution.
Absolutely, Ms. Doherty. I would just take note of the time. I know you can talk very fast, Ms. Doherty.
I'll leave that.
Tanya will be back in a second.
I'd like Alex to hear this. Hey, Alex? Okay.
All right, there we go.
We're ready.
Okay. All right, so we're back on the Bryn-Wasser matter. Request for a short adjournment was provided and made it back in less than 2 minutes.
Come on over here. I closed your thing.
As billed. All right, so where are we at?
Council,
I can do it.
yeah, Tim's going to walk you through, hopefully, what we present to the board as a compromise. Again, the house doesn't have a basement. If it had a basement, we likely wouldn't even be before this board. So this is a dire need for the family to function, and I think Tim has a compromise.
All right. Well, let's.
What we're
We're-
proposing, what we'd like to.
Good, Tim.
Pardon me?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, what we'd like to propose to do is leave the garage, but push it back and cut the area out that's behind it, so that we get, if I push this
You
element
got it.
back, this element, I'll get a better isolation from the balance of the building, start my garage approximately there, make my garage, delete the storage space behind, and make the space smaller on the second floor. It would pick up about 100 square feet of FAR on each floor, so 200 square feet total, and would take the side yard setback from the 7.4 to 8.2, because the side yard is going on that long diagonal line. So it would, by pulling it back, I'd be at 8.2 at this point, and I would pick up 200 square feet of FAR. Does that make sense when I?
Meaning
say
it would go down 200?
It would go down 200 square
200
feet.
square feet.
Instead
we
of
would-
having like 2 offices above, we would eliminate it down as well.
Okay.
And with that, I'd like to send back to the planner to kind of create a summary. if
All right,
that's-
well, before we get to the planner, there's a functional question here, because what you're suggesting is moving the front of the addition back, but effectively keeping the third garage, correct? And then by pushing that back, it also, on the second floor, that also piece is pushed back.
Yes.
And then,
Sorry, I thought you said you were eliminating, so if I look at what you say, and then I actually, you're pushing the garage, sorry. You're pushing the garage back, you had this storage unit behind the garage. If I thought I understood you, you're eliminating the storage unit.
Deleting it.
So are you actually pushing the back of the garage in, because right now the garage looks effectively lined up with, I'll call it bedroom number, that bedroom there. Are you actually pushing this part back, or what you're doing is you're pushing the start of it back, but the back end of it stays
No, no,
where
I
it
was
is?
taking the front face of the garage and pushing it back 8 feet.
Jackie, do we
The
not
8
see-
times 12 is 90.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's defer to the.
I'm sorry, I'm
board.
so sorry,
I'm
because
sorry.
we do have an issue with making the redesign tonight. So I'm going to suggest, Mr. Chairman, that to have the applicant come back with a revised plan.
right, this is, I know we discussed this before with the infamous carport earlier tonight, but obviously that was significantly different in the sense that that's just an overhang. So if you're going to amend the plans to show those changes, they would be presented in full to the board with the changes showing, first, second floor, whatever it may be.
An attic.
I would like to make those changes for the memorialization, if
That
that's okay.
would not, that's, no, that's not, it's too involved. I understand what you're doing, and I understand where you're going, and
Uh-huh.
I get that, but to do that type of, present it tonight for an approval with then having it in the, for memorialization, I think is too much, asking too much of the board at this point.
Okay.
And quite honestly, also, because it creates the variance, we still have that is the variance condition that's being created. So those would have to be, if that type of amendment is being made or suggested, then that would have to be provided, amended to the board.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the applicant would need to go back to zoning and get a revised denial letter. But I'm trying to see how we can accommodate them, instead of having them come back in July, maybe June. That's the best we can do. Your calendar for May, unless the board thinks that they can squeeze
You control the squeeze. So, if you don't think so,
It's
then we
your
can.
call, Mr. Chairman.
I mean, we're jammed up on both May applications,
Well,
right?
it would not.
Can't be
They
May.
would not have the May 12th date, but if you think your architect can get the updated plans to zoning so we can get you on for the May 28th date, would that work for you
May 28th?
and your applicant?
Did you say May? It's a Thursday.
It
Yes.
is. It is a
Yeah,
Thursday.
we're doubling up in May to try to keep these things moving.
Yeah, we have a full calendar.
That day is fine with me. But you guys,
So Jackie, it would need to be, you need the plans 2 weeks in advance
They
from
need to
that?
go to zoning first.
Right.
And then back to me 10 days. So Mr. Clacy does not have a lot of time to get the
yeah, you need them
redesign.
about May 14th, right?
No, you need to get it back to zoning
Right.
first before it comes to me.
Yeah.
It's like
Like next week, get it
Yeah.
to zoning.
you got to ask them if they'd help.
No.
You don't need to
Won't be-
notice.
No, just to be clear, once we set the date, the only obligation on the applicant would be to provide the revised plans to zoning. So we can, at this point, announce it will be on for the May 28th date. There will be no additional notice provided. This is the notice, so this matter is effectively being continued to the May 28th date with the idea that the architect is going to provide the updated plans through zoning department, and then that will process
And Mr.
along
Chairman,
accordingly.
we would take this matter first on that night.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Right, I'll put that. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, this one's adjourned. Motion to adjourn for the night? Anybody? Yes. Okay, just want to see if you guys want to stay or not.